Here we are.
We are here.
We're here. We're back. Hopefully, you enjoyed our new addition to the live stream, ambient music. That was Pop Chill, which I selected. We'll let Sara pick it next week. So if you didn't like it, fair not. Her taste will come through at a later date. But more importantly, hopefully, our picks can come through tonight, Sara, and other handicapping chatter. And I know you had a few winners yesterday. Sad though, we couldn't be on. I had that last winner, although I thought wasn't favored, but was. So not as big a deal that we didn't give it out. But brass tacks times now, it's time to get serious.
Absolutely. And I think we're due. And I was saying to you yesterday, if we did the live stream yesterday, I would have looked like a genius. But of course, that's horse racing. You have some great days, you have some not so great days. And let's hope that races 4 through 9 end up being a great day for us.
That's right. Did you have the winner of race 9 yesterday? Were you that much of a genius?
No, I liked the 7 who finished a fast closing third. But I would love to meet whoever was the genius that came up with the 2 who went off at what?
79-1?
Something crazy. And we also have a pick 6 carryover to chase starting in race 4 as well.
Which we will. It's race 4 now. We're used to it being race 2 when we come on the air. But we did want to back this up to have some more fun with the 12% takeout wagers, the pick 6, with the carryover pick 5, which is coming up in race 5. And before we actually get to any specific picks, Sara, I definitely thought it very apropos that we discuss what's been going on maybe all over the country, you might say, with early speed, but certainly at Sam Houston, where the horses on the front end in dirt sprints have just been gangbusters.
Absolutely. And I think that you bring up an important point about how speed is important everywhere, but we have this data to back up that this holds true for Sam Houston as well. And not to interrupt the talk of speed, but just wanted to remind everybody to like and subscribe before we
and who wouldn't like the TTT?
Oh, of course. It's one of the most important tools that we have to offer. It gives you some insight for how certain post positions are doing, as well as who's winning and where are they coming from.
And they're clearly coming on the front end and somewhat favoring inside, I guess, post 1 and 2, 42%. And it says wire to wire. You could be a length off. So a little bit different there, but clearly early front end speed, very powerful at Sam Houston. And let's see, race 4 is a dirt sprint, race 6 and race 8. So 3 of the 6 races definitely going to come into play, I think, trying to figure out who's going to get on the lead. And then real quick, sorry about that. We have dirt routes as well. Not quite as pronounced on the front end, but still more than half, just one closer, speed where you want to be on the main track.
Absolutely. And this is, again, the theme that is never ending in all sorts of situations on the dirt, Sam Houston included, as well as a variety of other tracks across the country. Speed kills, and we have the data to prove it.
We do. And the other thing I wanted to show, this is all tracks, so we do know speed does well really everywhere, but Sam Houston in particular, 35% HRN impact there. We'll get more to that in a little bit. But it is pick 6 time, race 4. It is a dirt sprint. And to me, it's a matter of who can maybe get on the front end. And I thought with the 1A out, that was a pretty big scratch in this race.
I agree. And this is one of the slowest pace races of the evening, according to the Horse Racing Nation pace report, which I feel as though we have a copy of to show.
Do we? I think that was one thing I forgot to upload. Keep talking. I'll get to it. We have it somewhere.
And the predicted pace setter was going to be that 1A Good Scout, who now does scratch out of this race. So then you're left with wondering who's really going to be the one that is on the front end, and they have a good chance to take this race gate to wire. The horse that I was kind of interested in here, who is now unfortunately the 4 to 5 favorite, is the number 6. How hot are these connections of Rye Eichler and Austin Gustafson? Crazy night last night. They were just totally on fire. And this horse is coming in on a 3-race win streak, including a win last time out over the number 4 Decline. Those were at 5 furlongs and 5.5 furlongs. It now has to go the 6, but this horse does have some early speed without absolutely needing the lead. And as we know, speed is winning races, which we just talked about. So perhaps this horse is just aggressively sets the pace, and is the only one doing so.
And I would say the odds reflect that is probably what. Oh shoot. Our ads are so good, I even click on them when I'm looking for something else.
Well, while you're looking, we could introduce our guest that we have
Oh, perfect.
this
Did
evening.
he discuss race 4?
He did, but I have an intro for him as well. That's going to be
even
Matthew
better.
DeSantis of the Win Place show, and he introduces himself in the intro video.
Full intro?
Full intro.
All right, let's.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. So as you said, my name is Matthew DeSantis. You can find me on Twitter at the handle Failed to Menace, which is my favorite horse racing note. And yeah, I love talking horses, love talking ponies, and just enjoy handicapping these types of races at Sam Houston. And so looking forward to talking to you about this. And I generally try to handicap races at Gulfstream, Sam Houston, Tampa, and Santa Anita right now during these kind of late winter, early spring months. Those are where I find the most interesting races. And this is it's a great card at Sam Houston tonight.
Yeah, a pretty decent pick. Number 4 is going to be the first one that we're talking about. 6:18 Eastern time, starter optional claiming, 75,000 or 7,500 to $15,000 claimers, 4-year-olds and up, 6 furlongs. Who are you interested in this field?
Yeah, this is a pretty salty race, actually. I think for the 4th race on the card, there's 4 or 5 horses that I think all have a legitimate chance. And I think this opens things up, obviously, from a wagering standpoint. I think the morning line favorite, Old Trafford, who's a coupled connection with Good Scout, we'll see if both of them end up running. Sometimes one ends up scratching. So, we'll see what happens there. But the horse that I'm intrigued by is Pomeroy Hayes. There's a horse that's going off at 3-1, if I'm not mistaken, morning line. This is the winner the last 3 times out on 2 different jockeys, which I actually do like to see sometimes, that it's not just a jockey-dependent horse in some instances. And more importantly, if you cross out the 2 stakes races this horse ran in and looked at when this horse runs in comparable races, the last 6 times out have all been first or second place finishes. So at 3-1, you're getting a nice, I think, ROI from a morning line standpoint. It'll be interesting to see who ends up taking on money because, like I said, you could look at Crazy Legs Hirsch, you could look at Declined, you could look at Old Trafford, you could look at Good Scout. All these horses are going to take on money. So it'll be interesting to see how the post-time wagering ends up playing out. But the other thing I'll say about Pomeroy Hayes is you have Rye Eichelberry in the saddle. You have Gustafson as the trainer. Those 2 have a great hit rate. I think they're winning at about 27% or so, and they have a positive ROI. So I really like Pomeroy Hayes there in that race 4.
They absolutely crushed it last night, too. It was like every other race, like Rye Eichelberry and Austin Gustafson. So if those connections are on fire the same way tonight, that'll be it.
Yep.
All right.
Good thoughts.
Good thoughts for sure. He agrees with. I mean, I would say with number 3 currently being 7-5, who I didn't give much of a chance to. That's probably maybe an opportunity if others are doubling up. I definitely saw the 6 as the single here.
I did too. Absolutely. Are you singling in the pick 6 as well?
So I played a few tickets. I also have in race, what is that? 9-8, race 7, number 8. I think is among the more likely winners. I really need to start writing names down for later races. And then the Asmussen in the finale, that turf route maiden, I thought was among the likely winners. So basically, the way I structured my ticket is 2 of those 3 have to win.
Okay. Interesting. I have some other thoughts.
And if all 3 win, because I do expect them all to be favored, in race 6, I toss the top 3 choices on the morning line. So that's sort of like, okay, well, even if all these even money winners, if this 10-1 wins, that's still an opportunity, especially with the carryover.
Right, and that's where you're finding your value. And the part that we accidentally cut off of what Matthew was saying is that he hit a pick 4 not that long ago that paid pretty well. It ended up really well. And yeah, he used all 4 of those horses in a competition. All of them won. So he knows what he's doing. So the fact that he agrees on number 6, I think this might be a possible single if you're playing the pick 6, if you're playing any of those pick 3s, all low 12% takeout, all great opportunities.
Yeah, and I think, with the carryover and 12%, the pick 6 certainly has an opportunity to be a big, huge score, thousands of dollars perhaps. I think the carryover is about 7. But with the pick 3 at also 12% takeout, a lot of these tracks, Sarah, they'll have the small takeout on the pick 5 or pick 6, 14, 15%. And then the pick 3 is still 18, 19, 20 plus. So it's not as good an opportunity to still play the pick threes, but at Sam Houston with that dollar minimum, especially, it's a tough pull for me to stay out of.
Absolutely. Do you play every single pick three?
I do.
That was a very you like Krabby Patties, don't you face?
I will say, today it's a little easier to justify it because I'm pretty thin, and really both the A and B column for me, which pull that up, I think that I actually did, since very few of us can partake in the happy hour at Sam Houston since we're all on a stream. Probably not a lot of us in Houston. Now's a good time. Here is my grid, and pretty thin by my standards. Not a lot of numbers in there. Race 6, really the outlier. I am 3 deep, but again, those 3 are all, I think, at least 8 to 1 on the morning line, so potential to differentiate there. But this type of situation, I mean, the 7 here is 15 to 1, so that's certainly no issue using that one as a B at that price.
Yeah, absolutely. And this horse does have some speed too, so that's a nice price for that factor.
Nice price, and they are going on the track, and I was there, so I actually saw the walkway.
The cement walkway.
The cement walkway.
The highlight of your trip. You should talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was going on 2 weeks ago now, which we had the cancellation last week, so we missed wrapping that up from Ladies' Day. But it had been 19 years since I had been to Sam Houston, and I admittedly didn't remember much of any of it. When I was there, I was like, I don't really remember a lot of this. I remembered the signs, Arlington, so many miles, Churchill, etc. But the track itself, kind of more an Oak Lawn vibe, just a grandstand and one dining area, so not a ton going on from if you're used to Keeneland or Churchill or Gulfstream. But I had a great time. The people are really into it. The night racing is definitely a different element, so I encourage anyone who has the chance to check it out, and especially with all the happy hours they do.
Of course, it's a great time to have all of those hours of being happy. How was Colleen's Pearl in the flesh?
I mean, I'm not as a horse to me, but I know Jessica specifically commented on how well she looked and ready to run off the layoff. You saw the video that I shot from the paddock, but I have to say, try not to get my hopes up too much. But this division of older fillies this year, we have Latruska coming back in a couple weeks. Malatot, the Oaks winner, is coming back. Pauline's Pearl, of course. Clairiere is back. Yep. She Dares the Devil is back. Pretty deep.
Absolutely. And there is one horse that I have my eye on that I actually talked about on the Ron Flatter Racing Pod that'll be out tomorrow, and that is the rescheduled Bayakoa. So I was saying that I hope that all of my ideas that were from last week, with everything being rescheduled, Sam Houston, Oak Lawn, all sorts of things like that, they've had time to marinate, and hopefully they're a little bit more viable, I guess, after some time in the think tank. And so a horse that I'm really interested in there is going to be the number 6 Queen Goddess, and that is a horse that I actually picked, who was 14 to 1 last time out in an off the turf race and just won 1.25 miles.
And what is she in
wire.
Here?
She's going to be like 5 to 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or 3 to 1 maybe. But she's not favored, so I was thinking that this might be a horse that can kind of take a step forward again and throw her name into that division that is already, pretty deep.
Stout, yeah, it's deep. Speaking of getting deep, Coots is coming up with a bunch of nicknames, I think, trying to do the mashup of our names. It's not going well, but he did come up with that weirdo.
That's fine.
Which is good. So, more to say that we can chat. We brought that into the mix last time. So if you have something to say, wondering where Dennis is. He's usually on here.
It's only a matter of time.
You think so?
I do.
You might be working security. You get all those crazy hours.
Hey, there's mobile apps to watch us.
That's true.
No excuses.
Let's see. What did Charles have to say? Wow, what bomb horse last night in that 2-horse last race? Where did that effort come from? Hard horse to handicap. I agree. Sometimes the impossible happens.
Yeah, no, I never would have come up with that horse. And there's plenty of times where I can look back and be like, all right, something kind of made sense. I just missed it. But some of them, it's like, no, I really had no clue. Just makes no sense at all. But when it's like things like that are happening, I almost feel as though it's better to be in it together. And so nobody knew anything about that horse running well from what, we've heard and the price reflected and then the carryover and all that. So yeah, it's better to not have a clue together, I guess.
I was talking about, and now I'm drawing a blank who it was with, but the Derby winners of it was on the Discord channel. Derby winners of the past 20 years. We've had 3 that paid more than $100. Giacomo, Mind That Bird, and Country House. For me, Giacomo was the only one that I could have made a case for even after the race.
Interesting.
Is that may have been just before your time? You would have been
No,
10.
I remember Giacomo.
Remember? Okay.
Yeah, no, I remember it was like I was very young, but I remember everybody. I was at a derby party with family, and that was one of the earliest like racing memories that I can recall, where I knew the horse's name and everybody had a really big reaction about what was happening, and it was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. And was that Mike Smith's first Derby win?
It was.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
On a son of Holy Bull.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Bully for him. John Sheriffs. Yeah, I feel like John Sheriffs is one away from the Hall of Fame, like marginal now, and especially when you consider his character with Zenyatta and a Derby win, maybe he could be in there. But I mean, if Express Train runs the table, is that him? Is that Sheriffs?
I think so.
Yeah. So maybe one more
I didn't
notch
just
in the
talk
belt
about
to
this.
get to the Hall of Fame.
I was gonna say I didn't just talk about that horse the other day, but yes, I think you're right, and he's a great horse.
I sensed you were impressed, I think.
About Express Train?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great performance, I have to say. I really like Law Professor in that race, and I think he just kind of ran his race, but Express Train's just a better horse than he is, and now we have in our chat that thinking the 6 is a single. I do.
Well, 7-5. I think the 6 is a win bet too. I think he wins this race more than half the time, so.
Yeah,
But
I would say so.
I would say the 7 is the second longest shot on the board. It's kind
And
of
shouldn't be, I think, from a pace.
it shouldn't be
standpoint.
19-1.
No.
Maybe if it were 10 and still the second longest shot, you'd say, well, someone has to be the second longest. But yeah, 19.
That's worth a little bit of a few bucks, I would say.
We got 4 minutes left, so we'll see where things settle odds wise. But looking at the daily doubles, would the last winner pay $440?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know that horse ended up being the
So
favorite.
yeah, six will probably be odds on. I could actually say maybe the play is the 7 to win a little bit, and then a 6-7 exacta.
Yeah, I think 6-7 exacta straight would be the play that I'm thinking, but I would still single the 6 in any multi.
Yeah, no, I think again, I did use the 7 a little. I'm against the 1 and 3 at those prices for sure. If the 7 wins, I'd need to be very right later on, but yeah, 6 definitely the linchpin there. Thank you for that. But Charles talked about the 6, the 7. I'm against the 1 and 3. He's on the 4 here.
Yeah, this horse is running, competitively enough with the likes of, the 3 and the 6 in here, but I just don't want to take a horse that doesn't have early speed in a paceless race that has already finished behind some of these other horses in here that have a little bit more early foot. So, of course, makes sense, but it's not setting up the way that I would want it to take this horse.
And CJ misspelled Gustafsson.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that's who wants the single.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's, opinion when anybody does well, which is like, I get it, but, come on.
And our coworker who also added that Giacomo was her first Derby in person. It was my third. She likes the 1. So, which 5-2, I definitely, we'll see what happens. The 6 is 9-5 now, but I have to think late money coming in. There's just 15,000 in the pool, so.
Yeah, with the 1, this horse kind of needed his stablemate to go out and set the pace for him last time to kind of barely get past him for third, and so now without his buddy setting the pace, I just don't think it's going to set up well for him. And he kind of didn't really make a significant move. He just sort of like ran his race and never really went faster or slower or anything like that. So that kind of style in here, I just don't think it's going to get the job done.
All right.
We'll see.
And we all agree the 5 is the least likely winner.
Yeah.
The board agrees.
Yeah. I don't
have it written down anywhere on here, so.
Yeah. No, I have notes on everybody but the 5. So
that would be
like
a 2 in the last.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You read my
I would
mind.
certainly certainly blow up the pick six, maybe even lead us to a double carryover into Friday. But they're heading to the gate. Very eager to see where this board ends up, because I would play the 6 at better than even money to win, but thinking maybe the 7 is the mad play, and it is pick 6 time. Now I know you have some tickets. Were any of them starting here?
I think I have a pick 3 starting here
Oh.
off the top of my head somewhere in what I sent you, but they are all labeled, so I will say that.
Race 6,
4
race 4, there it
is.
Whoa.
A whole $3.
Hey.
And the
That's
6
your
is
opinion.
singled. Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. 6, we agree. 7, 8, 9, 0 agreement. None. Absolutely none.
Really?
And we do have the same top pick, though, in race 6.
Well, we're going to have to
10 to 1 on the morning line?
Yes.
Right?
I think so. 5?
Yep.
Smack attack.
Smack attack.
Great name.
Floyd.
Yeah, on the turf.
Yeah.
Or was that on the turf?
No, that's dirt.
not
That's one of the
turf
dirt
snacks.
snacks.
That's what's
He
going
did
on.
win a turf the second race, though.
Yes.
It was on the turf, so.
We're
All
going to
right,
have to
there's
do some serious discussion there for the next race. with
there's
all this
Sarah's
disagreement, But
$3.
Rolling
And
in.
I mean, I like being able to offer tickets like that, because it's
it's affordable. Everybody has $3
Well,
if
and
you're
if
watching
you-
this.
if you're like, oh, well, Ed gave the 3 in the next race, and you can add it for minimal carnage.
Yeah, of course. And I think I just saw the last flash of the tote with the 3 being 8 to 5 and the 6 being 2 to 1. So we'll see what
Wow.
happens when they
Better.
actually break.
Better try to get down here.
Hurry up. Everybody's in line. You're not going to make it.
Yeah, not even close. Well, we better turn this off, though.
Get rid of it.
Scoff laws. Now, according to Candace, we could even play music during this.
Wow. Should we just hum a tune and see how that goes?
Well, if it ends up being a licensed song, though, then we're in trouble.
You're right. It could be guess
We'd
that
have to
tune
we'd
to
have to
see
make it up.
if we get in trouble or not.
Improv. We'd say it was jazz.
Now, the 4 that I said didn't have the pace dynamics to be effective here is the one that is setting the pace, which is not something I had seen before. However, the 6 is stalking pretty closely right outside.
Pretty
as the
slow
7.
pace, yeah. I don't love it, though. I feel like if you think you're on the best horse, just take it to him.
Right, and now we're starting to see that happen where the 4 is really being asked to go and the 6 is kind of just sidling right along without really being asked. And now I feel like the 6 is gonna.
Is it fair to say the 7 is not winning?
I think that is a much, a highly likely statement. The 6 is.
So you said you saw the last flash at 8 to 5. Neither one of us have a screen on where the odds are. I'm gonna guess the final odds were 3 to 5.
Okay. I don't have a guess, but the 6 did win easily.
We did.
Yeah.
So we advance.
Next
What did you
round.
play?
What?
Did you play?
Yeah.
The pick 6?
No.
Oh, that's what I meant. Oh yeah, but you had a pick 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we do advance.
We advance.
Different wagers.
To the next level.
And I would say everyone's live in the pick 4.
I would say pretty much everyone's alive in the pick 6. Well, not everyone, but that horse was very logical. A lot of people thought that. Matthew thought that, so I'm sure he's alive in whatever
That's true.
wagers that he was playing as well. So everybody's staying alive. One race in, that's what we like to see.
And this is actually a pretty decent stable dual horse, right? Because there was it was a part of entry that scratched. So the morning line would
Are
still
you
be.
playing and I'm not?
No, I'm not playing,
Oh,
but I know how the game works, and I know Matt is an avid player.
He's an avid player, yes. Yeah. Yep. I know we cut him off while he was about to talk about it, which is all your fault. So
That is
whatever.
my fault.
We summed up that he hit a very nice pick 4, and that's what matters. And the final odds were 9 to 5.
Is that a pun?
What?
Was that a pun?
What part?
That's what matters.
No.
Oh. Inadvertent.
Not really.
Matt.
I had no intention of saying that. Only you think that way with your dad jokes.
It would have been very clever. Did we ever see a price?
9 to 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang. I missed a win bet.
You screwed up.
That's bad.
Thankfully.
See what I do for everyone, though?
Yeah, you really helped
It's all for
everybody
the
out,
people.
and it's just for the people.
Oh, we can bring this back, though.
We can. And what was I about to say?
That's
Totally
incredible,
lost
though, because I remember saying there was 15,000 in the pool,
it. Mhm.
and now 49.
Cause.
Now, let's see. Inopia, 2 to 1 on 9 to 5. That was a steal. I agree.
Yeah, I think the 4 tried everything to win, so correct tactics with that one, and then just didn't have it. But I don't think that that's the 4's running style. So
Yeah, I'm shocked that horse was 9-5. I can't believe it.
like that's a steal.
Well, between just that being the price, everyone liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty rare. We're all on the same horse. We're willing to single.
And these hot connections,
Right.
everybody just
Maybe
was done a
Austin
favor.
told everyone the horse couldn't win.
Just like last time. That's the angle that really pays.
Gustafa lose. All right. Well, hopefully Anthony cashed in, a few others.
We gave out our first winner.
I mean, I hate crowing about the favorite, but I think that type of confidence at 9-5 is good info.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like this horse was as heavily favored as we all kind of expected. And I think saying that this horse was a single gives us a little bit more, credibility, I guess, than just saying, yeah, I like the favorite. So
Right.
you've saved some space on the rest of your tickets for the Space City Pick 6. And now I made a pun just for you.
Space in the Space City. I like it. Not yet launched, though. That we reserve for the $20 winner or higher. Or if you beat a big universal single, maybe. But we're not there yet.
Turn the page.
We are turning the page. And if I recall correctly, you have 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
Also a dad joke. And I have 3, 6. So one of us is saying goodbye.
Who's it going to be? You picked the 3 who's trying the turf for the first time, the 6 who's trying the turf for the first time, as well as the 3. What did you like about the 3? Because I didn't give this horse a look at all.
Came up favorably, just, the Sims. Said, oh, this is one of the likely winners. What really settled it for me, though, I thought had an opportunity. This is one of those like jargony words, and I'm not even always sure what it means. But energy dispersion. It just seemed like trip-wise in a turf sprint would have good position, as well as the ability to close late, which is good
energy dispersion.
Distribution. Thank you. Distribution.
What does that mean?
Like, can run fast early and late.
So it's tactical?
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes those are plotters.
Tactical?
Yeah.
I think it's meant to mean...
Like Tacitus is a horse I think of as tactical.
Tacitus was one of the most overrated horses of all time. Don't even get me started on that.
He shouldn't have even been rated.
It's terrible. Now you ruined my train of thought with your terrible joke.
Energy. That wasn't a joke.
Tactical. Tactical to me means more that they don't have one set running style, that they can kind of adapt to the way the race is playing out.
All right. That's a good word for it then. Thank you.
Instead of energy dispersion.
Well, yeah, that wasn't good.
Disperse their energy through different parts of the race.
Yes, thank you. But not just
I get what you're trying to say.
The pace numbers I looked at, was like, okay, this horse is going to be in the mix. And then, for turf races, you just kind of need that spurt. So I did like that. And 6, I don't know what the board up yet now.
I can check.
Oh, there you go.
You're looking at 3 to 5 right now.
On which one?
On the 6.
Oh, okay. So the 3 will be the longer price.
Yeah, that horse is 8 to 1.
Yeah.
Right at the morning line, right at the moment. All my horses are pretty decent odds right now. So
I would think so. Well, anytime you don't have the 3 to 5, you're probably gonna get the price you want.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 7, 8, 9. Of those, I probably like the 9 least. So let's start with that one.
So this horse was kind of like the wild card for me to throw in. You can toss the last race on dirt, as you can for a lot of horses in this field, because they don't prefer that surface and they've shown it, or they have kind of tried the turf early and then they went to the dirt for some reason and then they're back on the turf. And so this horse, the 63 buyer at this distance, 2 back, is a major outlier. And I get that if that is kind of like a one-off or a slightly skewed figure or something like that, you can't really trust it. But at 15 to 1, and this horse is going to go off at way more than that, back to the surface, that it probably prefers. A repeat of that performance wins or at least hits the board here. So I don't know where it came from. I don't know how accurate it is, but I had to think about it at least a little bit and throw in at a price.
Yeah, and a big price.
We're looking at 30-1 right now.
So when someone says, how'd you have that horse? You'll have an answer.
I will. So at least there's that.
All right. Yeah, 3 to 5, a little light. I made a B because I knew that the 3 would be pending some sort of steam I wasn't aware of. I figured the 3 would be a much better price, and that's why I went AB there. But Cowardly did use the 6 on every ticket, so maybe might need some help after this, after the start we had. But hopefully the carryover takes care of that a little bit.
Sure.
Working backwards from your top pick, at least numerically, 7 and 8, 8 6 to 1, 7's 12. Might tighten a little bit though, I think. Neither offends me. I mean, the 9 was like, okay, I need to know what the scoop is here.
Right.
The others
these you can
make
kind
sense.
of be like,
Yeah.
okay. So both of these horses are cutting back from a route. The 7 is cutting back from a mile. Did set the pace, weakened to 5th, but shortening up and having early speed, which not only is important on the dirt, but is extremely important in these 5 furlong turf sprints as well. This may be exactly what she wants to do, and at 12 to 1, even 6 to 1 on the morning line, again, that same type of idea of making a change, whether it's dirt to turf, or tried the turf, went to the dirt, back to the turf, or route to a sprint, or whatever it might be. Kind of trying to figure out what these horses really want to do and what they're going to excel at. And then the same type of idea with the 8. But this horse does have a closing style in case things end up heating up on the front end, or this horse stalks since it's a little bit closer, something like that. This one has a 67 buyer speed figure at 5 furlongs on the turf, which is impressive to this field, 3 back, and that is the highest in this field. So at 6 to 1, with the highest ever run buyer on the turf, that's a horse I'd want to use.
Yeah, not as the favorite for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, you've talked me into that one more than the other.
Good. I think Matthew has some thoughts too.
Yes.
You want to throw those on?
Now the worst, I really like the presentation he has going on with the mic and the headphones and stuff.
He's always very professional.
Very dapper.
Unlike us.
I shouldn't say I don't like. What I wish we could see is, because of his setup, we don't see the tie he's wearing. And I'm a big tie guy.
I think that's a special request you'll have to put in for the next time he appears.
Right.
On race number 5, you have a maiden special weight 4 and 5-year-olds. We're on the turf, 5 furlongs. Who's interesting in here?
Well, what's interesting to me in here is the pace, potentially. If you look at this, if you look at your past performances, the 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9 horse all want to be on the lead, or right very close to the lead. And I got bad news. They're all not going to get on the lead unless they go 5 wide, which only happens at Tampa from what I can tell. And so, it's one of those races where the favorite, Lulos, is one of those horses that's going to get caught up in potentially an early speed and potentially get pressured a little too much going around, or it's just not going to get the trip at once, in terms of being maybe shuffled back if it doesn't break as effectively. So I'm looking at a couple of other horses. I'm looking at Hard Candy. This is a horse that ran a really big race 3 back, posted a 67 buyer speed figure, which is the best in the field by far. Didn't really follow it up with great performances, but it's certainly capable of something that big. And like I said, the race also sets up perfectly for this horse, because if there is speed out in front, if these horses wear themselves out, Hard Candy likes to sit back and then launch a bid late. So from a race standpoint, I think it plays out nicely. And the other horse that I think is going to give you a little bit more value is Silver Wing. This is a horse that intrigues me, cut back from a mile to 5 furlongs. And this is a horse that I think perked up a little bit on the turf. So I think a turf sprint might be a perfect fit for this horse because it's tired at a mile. So I think at 6 to 1, Silver Wing gives you some nice value from a morning line standpoint. And there's enough heavy favorites that I don't know if Silver Wing is going to get bet down that dramatically because you have Lulos, who's going to take on a lot of money because of the Asmussen Elliott connections. Hard Candy is probably going to take on some money. So like I said, I think you'll find a good price with Silver Wing, maybe including some vertical wagers.
He agrees.
Like that. After he sniffed out the 9 to 5 with us, it's good to agree with Matt.
I guess so.
Good for you. Not so good for me since I don't, but...
he likes your 6 horse a little bit too.
Well, I mean, at even money, we don't want a little bit. That's when you kind of want to really be excited about. So, but my top pick is the 3, so I think we'll see what happens on the side, but not... And I didn't even do the TTT for the turf. fewer
The TTTT.
the TTTTS, fewer races to go on. But I would say overall fair, but like any sprint race, if you put yourself in the mix early on, I think that probably favors you a little bit more than being a closer.
I would say so. Of course, that makes sense, and that I don't think that this is exactly the fastest field on the planet, but these are maiden special weight horses as opposed to maiden claimers, so we could see something decent.
All right. See, we will. Okay, pick 5. Now, this is, I would say, a situation a lot of people probably will. If you played the pick 6, maybe you singled in the last race, so you're live, so you're standing pat. Or I've been known to do this. Like, you don't really want to spend $200 some or $100 some or whatever. You don't want to spend more on the pick 6. You can come back with the pick 5, even if you're live. That's where you can spread, and then pick 4, pick 3, etc. Kind of the boat I'm in, just because I thought race 8, I didn't love race 8 was one I wanted to be a little deeper in, but pick 6 wise just couldn't make it work with being 3 deep in the next, etc. So in this pick 5, now that the 2 is 3-2, but I'm thinking I'm just going to stay with the 3 and 6. But in the pick 3, maybe I can use the 7 and 8 since you spoke so well of them.
Well, not only me, Matthew as well. So
yes,
I think
Matthew.
that you have 2 sources now telling you that these horses might have a little bit of a look to them. And
Yeah.
They make sense.
And maybe someone else in the chat thinks so too.
Let's find out.
Although, let's see, Candace 3 and 1. So
she likes your 3.
She's with me.
The 1 is 20-1 or 16-1 now, but.
Some Joe Biden and Louis Vuitton references that I don't understand. Probably need to dive into that a little bit more because it could be funny. I like political humor, but well, now see, this is nice. Good evening, HR Nation.
Good evening, Steve. Gilfeather.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All right, they're in the got some sunspots going on the 9 over there, but everyone seems well behaved for this one. Yeah. Think they were listening?
About my long shot?
Yeah.
To show them.
Show it on the screen.
Just
for
like
Sara.
they moved the Eclipse Awards for us.
That's right.
That's
I ran a poll about whether we should talk about the Eclipse Awards.
Should we?
And the poll said not to talk about the Eclipse Award.
Okay.
So
let's move on.
You'll get to vote next year.
Will I?
Well, if you're a turf rider.
Am I?
Not yet. But get you to apply. I mean, you're riding
just
like
abstain.
Oh, CJ's back. 3-8 for him.
Okay, so you like the 8 too, and
so it's like if we teamed up.
We almost should talk about the races at least once beforehand and figure out some ideas together.
Well, with 20 minutes though, that kind of you need I don't like to know too much.
You want it to be a secret?
Well, not a secret, but I just feel like
it's usually a secret.
It is usually. Well, occasionally I'll drop the grid, but on the wrong lead, not Andrew.
If anyone's learned anything in here, it's the name differentiation. The 2, okay, was he the one that made that big bet to push this one down to 8-5?
I'm wondering, but
could be
price too short for me, so that makes me think maybe it wasn't.
Not.
Yeah, I would think that's gonna go up. And number 6 is owned by Clark Brewster. Do you recognize that name?
I do recognize that name.
Yeah.
From where?
He's Bob Baffert's attorney.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Lulos. Well, the Kentucky hearing was not today since, well, I guess Clark's probably not there anyway. So the 6th. 8-5.
Would you say that that's worthwhile or not?
I had 2-1 was in my mind.
Yeah,
I
think
this
line? Horse will be favored. Morning line was 2-1.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, I felt that was not unfair. I wasn't excited about 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like 9-5 in the last race, I'm upset. I didn't bet. So
yeah, you should have missed out. Silver Wings, I see why it has the name. Very pretty. Nice gray color. So cute.
Nicholas wants to know my favorite color. It's black.
You're that guy, of course.
I just think it's black.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Just like you're wearing it. Mine's blue.
I've never seen a blue horse.
Hanson, they tried to dye his tail.
They did.
There's a reason why I've never seen a blue horse, and that's because it's not allowed.
Very upset that I changed my pick from I'll Have Another that week. That was a miss.
Hanson's like
To Hanson.
Yeah, he's like our guy in the office. I feel like he's just like such a loved horse in the horse racing nation community of the few people that work here in office.
I believe one of Horse Racing Nation's first events was his Breeders' Cup Juvenile win.
That was one of my first major winning bets. I think I've already even talked about it on our live stream at some point. It was that important.
I don't remember that.
What?
You talking about it.
I've definitely mentioned him.
Was that one time I went to the restroom and Mark filled in?
Could have been.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I missed it.
Checked out either physically or mentally.
Never mentally. Black is the absence of color. Now, I agree from a space standpoint, but really, if that chair is black, it's black. It's not lacking color. They've colored that to reflect.
I think we're speaking more to the spectrum of color and light in general, rather than an actual object being a certain color. But I think that that's more of a metaphysical discussion for a future live stream.
Future live streams. Okay. Well, 9 to 5 on the 6. Start of the pick 5, 12% takeout. No, this is a turf sprint, so not. We'll get back to the dirt next time because we want to show those images again. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 3, 6, 7, 8 to start the pick 5.
Okay. Not going to throw that 9 in at 24-1?
I'm not going to throw the 9 in. I guess there's situations here where I'm thin enough where it's like, why a little horse like that beat me, but I guess I'm going to have to let it beat me.
I guess so. I don't think that horse is necessarily going to win, but it's one I would consider underneath. And also, if that horse did win, that is one of the few crazy prices that at least I could be like, all right, I understand a little bit of what happened here. So a horse that I wouldn't really understand at winning, though, is the 1 at 19-1.
Brahms
I probably just talked that one into the winner's circle, but
you think it's named after the horror movie?
I don't know the horror movie.
No. It's pretty scary.
Yeah?
It would be scary if he won.
For some people.
Thursday Scaries.
I'm not really into scary movies. Maybe
Really?
too paranoid. I feel like someone's
like
watching me.
Like that Weekend song?
No.
Oh.
Not in a way like that. Just like, you like the color black, you like the scary movies.
I do. I think Saw is one of the best movies ever made.
I'm learning so much about you this evening.
But Brahms Boy winning would scare me more than Saw.
Okay. Fair enough.
Actually, here's how I am. Once it's done, it's done. I get over it pretty quickly.
The scary movies or the missing long shots?
It wins, I'm out. I can move on once it wins. But when I'm watching the race and like inside the 8th pole or the 16th pole that you're going to lose, that's when it feels worse to me.
Really? See, I approach that totally differently. I don't get upset about losing if the horse doesn't run at all, because then I'm just wrong. But if the horse runs their race and finishes hitting the board, or at least had some trouble or a legitimate excuse, and I feel like they could have won, they ran at least, it wasn't just a total no-show, and I'm alive to a decent score, then it stings right until the horses are in the paddock for the next race. Especially the one that stung was missing out on that pick 4 at Aqueduct the other day. That was a very sad time.
No, but see, I see that as the horse was never really in it. So.
No, but I've never been alive to possibly $30,000.
Oh, well, yeah, that's to a horse you really like.
Well, a horse.
I've been live a few times to more than 50,000, but it was lucked into an all or whatever, and I didn't like the horses I was live to. This was a horse you targeted your whole bet around.
Well, I wouldn't say that I really liked. I would say that this is a field where I didn't really like anybody else. And this is the horse that wasn't going to be favored, that was trying something new, and that stood a chance to benefit from the outside bias that was going on at Aqueduct.
That was a fantastic bet.
Yeah. For a $4 base wager on the pick 4, was alive for 4 out of 6 in the pick 6, which would have paid 700 something, and then that pick 4 would have paid me almost $30,000.
No, we decided it would have paid 2,800.
What?
You're the pick six.
The pick six?
Because you had four of sixes.
No, I didn't play the pick six like that. I played the pick four as a $4 base wager. I played the pick six as a regular base.
Right, but the races you missed, you were 2x2, which is 4 combinations.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I missed even more money is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Imagine I walk in here and I'm just like, well, that would have been nice.
Think of the pleasant surprise you would have had when you looked at your account balance.
Yeah, I mean, I could have purchased everybody pizza or something.
that is the rule here. When you win more than 25,000, you have to buy pizza. Yes, indeed.
So, are you going to be buying any pizza anytime soon?
Well, not after the first few races that have happened. Although at Turfway, I did have the winner of the opener at $17. So
that's nice.
Maybe,
I really think that you should be throwing in this 9 in your.
Yeah, 25 to 1. You got to do it.
I think you need to do it. This horse looks good out there. Very fluid stride, very engaged in what's going on. I really don't love the way the 2 is looking. I think you should do it.
Which is good at 9 to 5. No one mentioned.
I'm going to pressure you into doing it.
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
What is
I don't
it?
have to dare you.
I was 4 deep. Now I'm 5. Yeah, it's only 25% more. And I'm thin elsewhere. It's not like I'm.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, I hope this horse wins, and then you can throw me a tip for it.
You've worked for tips before.
Many times, yeah.
Olive Garden.
We're going to have to specify that that's at a restaurant.
Well, that's why I said Olive Garden. Although my tip jar is open on Twitter.
Mine is too. Venmo's linked if anybody's feeling generous. You can always feel free to help us out.
They could buy us pizza.
They could. Hey, if anybody wants to buy us a pizza, you'll get a very special shout out next time. Venmo's open on my Twitter. Shoot me some money if you feel like it.
But more importantly, hit the like button.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
There's no need
that's
to
the real MVP.
ask for donations, but just saying it's out there.
I do think it's funny that it's there and people avail. Yeah, that's great.
The option is always out there.
Oops.
Are you redoing some numbers?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I can do that.
Can swing it?
Yeah. Can swing it. Yield Twin Spires account. Oh, I don't have a. Why is the 2? Oh, Broberg?
Yeah.
First time. Is that
14%
FTT? First time turf?
Yeah. Bullet work at Tim Houston, so training at the track is all I wrote about this one. But
that's insane to me. I gotta play against.
Yeah. Well, I did like this thing where I went through and I just did the fire part and then the angle that is working for this horse. And so I tried to do some faster handicapping for tonight. We'll see if it paid off or not. But I'm trying to, increase my maximum, profits for my time. So that's what the FTT means. I have D to T, which is dirt to turf, R to S, route to sprint, all kinds of what's changing here for this horse and does it matter or not. So you gonna get those bets in?
These bets I got in. I'm gonna do a pick 3 too.
Wow, going all out now.
Well, I mean the last time I bet against a Broberg in this situation with such gusto, the horse ran off the screen, but
I don't think we're gonna see quite the same thing from Wheels, but hey, we're all wrong all the time.
Remember that horse 4-wheel drive that won
wasn't that one of American Pharoah's first crop offspring that did pretty well? Somebody in the chat knows about 4-wheel drive. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, that probably was American Pharoah.
I guess I have to specify horse when I look up 4-wheel drive. A son of American Pharoah. There we go.
There you go. All right.
Go.
I'm in.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Anyone else play the pick 5? Let's see those tickets. We'll take charge. Wins early on the turf too. That is actually interesting.
For Wheels, yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that who Wheels is by?
Mm-hmm. Wheels is feeling fresh out there though.
Why do you say that?
He's basically cantering with the outrider. He's not
That's
right now,
fresh.
but he was before. Yeah, I mean, excited. Think if you're leading a horse somewhere, do you really want them to be, popping up and down and acting up next to you?
I usually lead a horse to water.
I heard that that's not the truth. Well, when you're leading them to water, you don't want them to be acting up.
No, you want them to be ready to drink. Interesting. Now what's going on? Oh, is he just adjusting?
Who?
The 3.
The 3?
Looked like the jockey was standing straight up.
Oh, I missed it. Sometimes if your like saddle is like moved a little bit or something like that, if you stand straight up and kind of like, you know, move like from side to side, you can get things more centered.
Wonder why they're not showing the starting gate.
Probably because there's nothing happening over there yet.
Well, I just kind of like to see what as they go in.
Well, they're not going in yet.
That's true. I guess the 1 would be the first one in. All right, 2's drifting a bit. 3's holding on at 8.
Bet the 10 wins now.
That would be something.
Would be. That one I would have no reasoning for. Although, actually, you know, dirt to turf, so maybe, you know,
Yeah,
prepared
no
surface.
10s.
Yeah, no, I had no interest in that horse, so. I don't know.
I think 379 would be a nice exacta box.
Sure. I would throw the 8 in too, then.
Well, it just was 5 to 1.
Yeah.
But still third choice. All right, throw the 8 in. 3789. Throw the 8 in. Let's see.
Just hit
anything
the
else
all
here?
button, why don't you?
Not Andrew is playing the 4 to win.
Okay.
Likes the pedigree at 10 to 1.
Who's your daddy?
Is that the name of the horse?
Yeah.
Oh, Hooves. Yeah, that is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Who won the first? Woohoo?
Yep. There's also Woohoo That's Me is another horse that's on the New York circuit.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
See? Told you, he's feeling fresh. Now he's running away.
Wow. See this kind of analysis you get?
Right. See, you know, it matters.
I
to be
just
able
thought
to
he was
look at a horse or
cantering.
two. Do you even know what a canter is? I'm a little, all right, he's getting up. I was going to say, you don't want to see a jockey stay on the ground for that long, but he's up now, so that's good. 2's running off. I guarantee we're going to have a delay of some sort in this race and possibly a late scratch.
Yeah.
Not to call it too early, but.
I would think they're going to try to load them in. I can't imagine they'd be loading others in if they thought they were going to scratch one.
Or did they get him?
There he is.
Oh, where?
Is this him here?
Nope, that's not him.
No, you're right. That's your
Where did
9.
he go?
Huh.
So they're loading in.
Yeah, there's the jock.
Right. He must have been.
This is madness.
Well, he must have been apprehended pretty quickly for them to load in, or they're just going to run with that stall open.
I don't see it.
Because I saw him start to go off.
No,
So they must have grabbed him. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Quickly apprehended. But see, like, I don't love to see that before a race. Expended energy, acting up.
I mean, I love to see it as someone who actively bet against.
Right.
Assuming he's safe to run. We don't want
any
Make that
unsafe
clear.
issues
Never.
for horse or rider. Absolutely not. But it's not something I would love to see if I was betting on the stars, particularly at 2 to 1.
Right.
Wow, it's very rare that on air I call something as true just from sight, and it actually is. So props to me.
Well, the canter.
No, it was the acting up.
Oh.
The canter is just a way of moving. Well, a gait, if you will, a G-A-I-T, not a G-A-T-E.
Right.
Yeah.
That I know because of harness.
Yep. There you go. See, you know something.
Try.
Yes, very good.
All the buzzwords.
Yep.
I think we're actually going to have a start here. So I
Look at
better
that.
do that. People can watch us watching.
You leaving the sound on?
Oh.
I mean, I'm fine with it. But
Yeah.
We love
We're
Nick,
not paying.
though,
We're not
but-
paying him royalties. So.
Right. Nick's doing a great job over there. I had the pleasure of chatting with him. You had the pleasure of going.
Yeah,
and
got to see him in person.
chatting with him. So your 3 horses doing pretty well here.
Yeah, I don't hate my spot.
7 sitting outside. The 9 and 8 have a lot to work to do here. The 1 is still going.
I was going to say, it seemed like the 3 would have gone by now, and didn't. Not Andrew having getting a thrill here with the 4. Oh, it's me versus not Andrew, and he's got me.
Yep, there's that. Well, there's that.
Wow. Not Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
That was big.
Yeah.
Oops.
Not too bad.
Big for him, bad for me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
10 to 1 on the morning line. Went off at 6 to 1. So took some money.
Probably his money.
Perhaps. Wheels
No,
ran,
that's a great pick.
Third.
Some might say he ran his race behind the gate.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I would say he cantered his race.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna let that one go. But that is a horse that, after acting up the way he did, and then still running decently enough, and also closing when we know these turf races, these sprints are so dominated by horses that are close to the front end. Even the 1, ran a pretty good race at those odds, I would say. This is a horse that I look at and bet back for sure.
The winner or
Wheels?
Oh,
number
Wheels.
2.
If
he acts right next
Gotcha.
time out, then that's a great bet back.
Yeah, he
almost got up for second. Yeah, so that's a horse that I'm gonna remember that I said that, and I'm gonna circle it and make a note of it and actually do it.
Very judicious of you.
Well, I got to keep these notes together somehow.
Well, I'm out of everything. Not Andrew got me good, but happy for him. 6 to 1.
Your 3 horse ran well. I didn't like that horse at all. So
yeah, it was
you
fine.
had a good opinion.
I would have preferred a win, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's better to, I don't know, at least have an idea of what's going on.
Yes. No, yeah, he ran okay. I don't think he's ever winning, and who knows maybe jockey wasn't getting the response he wanted, and he just won. Shouldn't say won. He beat the 1 by attrition. Those situations, I kind of like. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, some horses don't love to pass other horses.
Right.
So, or it could have been
Something
a
to keep in
situation
mind.
where this horse wanted the lead, didn't get it, and then kind of just like, well,
Stalling a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, no excuses. Not Andrew with the win there. Good pick.
Yep. I actually, speaking of that angle.
Pick 4 though.
There's always another opportunity. Speaking of that angle of a horse that I feel like needs the lead to want to be interested in, the 5 that we agree on coming up in this extremely slow-paced race 6.
Yes.
That horse, I think, is one that just totally gave up after stalking the pace last time out, not getting the lead, and just wanting nothing to do with anything after that. Like totally, just backed out of there. If this horse ends up being the pace setter in here, I think we could be looking at a pretty different result at 10 to 1. On the morning line.
I hope so, and this will definitely. I felt like of all the races we came in, we talked, the dirt sprint, speed favoring. This was the one that just seemed like, okay, if we're gonna put this data into action, this is the race.
Definitely, and I think this is highlighted on our pace report as well.
Yes, which you have now. Which I have now, and we'll upload it. Maybe.
Yeah,
there it is.
They're 50 to 1 final odds on the 1. So how about that?
Yeah, that's not a bad little super there, even with the favorite in 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
who amazingly, after all those antics, actually took money late.
Yeah, well,
it was 9 to 5 and went off at 3 to 2.
Yep.
I would have been canceling.
Yeah. No, I wasn't about that horse. But a lot of people, they're either playing and they're not watching live, or
Floyd Wethy, though.
Yeah. Well, he rides the horse that we like in the next race, so maybe
does.
he'll get a nice little double.
Triple. He won the 2nd.
Well, in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The natural double, cold double. And there's the pace report. Sorry about that. Apparently the sound cut off.
Oh no, we missed your analysis.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Thank you to Candace for alerting us to that. Although, again, picture's worth some words, maybe not 1,000 in this case, but pretty clear with the 85% early wire-to-wire numbers that the front end where you want to be in these dirt sprints.
Definitely.
So, and that's why you and I are both on Smack Attack, as is the public,
5-2
with the early money.
from 10 to 1. Everybody's on to us.
They have spy tech. Now it's kind of
Makes sense.
makes sense. Now you and I have had this discussion though. I am much less likely to be still betting at 5-2, whereas you're in.
As we've discussed a few times, there's situations where, to me, my thoughts on how a race is going to play out and the horse that I like, I'm not basing those opinions on the odds as much as a lot of other players are. And so if a horse is one that I think is going to win, whether or not I bet or how much I bet on them to win and where I use them, that is up for debate based on the odds. However, the fact that I think that they're going to win isn't changing based on the amount of money that they're taking. And I think that if you change your opinion of who you think is going to win the race based on the board, that's just silly. You're basing your opinion on other people's money and how that's coming in. And so if you already thought that this horse was going to win at 10 to 1, you're probably not loving the 5-2 price, but it's also saying that a lot of other people believe this horse is going to win so much so that they're putting money on it, and that's moving the board in this way. Would I bet this horse to win at 5-2? No. But is my opinion changed that I think this horse is winning this race? No. That's what I think, and the horse can't read the board, so.
That's right. Well, it's always an option to pass if you don't like the opportunities to wager.
Some would disagree, but we know that it's possible.
Well, or at least adapt, since yes, I do pretty much. I'm in the pools, and wish I had been in the last one after what happened. But yeah, I like the 4 and 8 as well, which the 4 is currently 3-1 too, and I think that was 8-1 on the morning line. Mm-hmm. So as of right now, the 8 is sort of the wild card option if looking for a big price. So I agree with you in the sense that, okay, I'm really not adverse to the 4 or 5 just because they're taking money. Thankfully, I have another opinion, the 8, where, okay, now I'm kind of want to marry the 2 to get some price in there. I would not play the 4 or the 5 at this price, but we'll see what the will pay say. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a drift. I would say of those, yeah, so the 5's definitely, based on that, not going to be favored. Pick 3s is the third choice.
Yeah, it looks like 4 is going to end up being your
I would
price
say
option.
I would say the 6 is headed to the biggest underlay to me of the field. I had 5 horses listed on the grid, 6 not among them, and it's probably going to be the second choice here.
Yeah, and I mean, you get Briar Eckleberry in the saddle, which doesn't hurt anything right now, or at all through the meet. Of course, this horse didn't break in a race versus the 1 Violin Maker and the 5 Smack Attack, but has more of a closing style, and we've talked so much about how important speed is. May not get the right setup in here, especially with what we've been discussing. It's going to be such a slow pace in this race, or at least that's how it's playing out on paper.
And I thought I had a jockey grid. There it is.
There we go.
A little fuzzy. Sorry about that. One of the things we didn't get to revamping, but basically I wanted to look at just over the last week, so somewhat smaller sample size than we're used to. But with the way the main track's playing, it's like, okay, who in particular maybe is done better than others? Rye, 4 for 11. Floyd was 3 for 11 going into today. He has a win on the main track along with that turf sprint win. So he added to his total. Weston Hamilton, 0 for over the last week. And it's, to me, important to look at the expected win percentage because if that were really low, it'd be more forgivable that he hasn't won. But really at 12%, that's 1 for 8. He's 0 for 10. So Okay, is he just not riding well with the way the track's playing? And a few others that have wins, like Moore and Guerra, weren't expected to do all that well. Now it's only one win, so at 5 or 6%, that's probably one win too. But just I like to see that they did it. And if you're going to look for a price, that's important. So Weston to me is kind of the one where if I saw now at a short price, I'd be less inclined to use with much gusto. But all the big names were up there, and certainly whether it's Rye or Lane or Floyd, you know you're going to get a good shake.
Absolutely, and I think Matthew has some thoughts as
Does
well. He might.
Race
on this race number 6.
6. Ready?
Yeah. Claiming race, $15,000 tag, 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 or going 7 furlongs. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is kind of the complete polar opposite of the previous race. There's no pace in this race. Everyone wants to come from off the lead. And so this race, I think, sets up really well for the favorite, Kingston's Gold, who is the only front runner in the race. And Kingston's Gold is not necessarily even a front runner, likes to be in a stalking position usually, but will, I think, easily get the lead here. And I think this is a pretty good spot for this horse to pick up a victory and to break its and to do well here in this claimer. The other horse, if you know, it's not always fun to pick favorites. So I'll say the other horse to look at is Runaway Tracy. This is a horse that had been really, I think, trending in the right direction, and then suddenly really abruptly changed riding styles. And I don't know why. This horse had been getting in the lead and turning in some nice finishes, and then suddenly started getting shuffled back the last 2 times and is clearly a very different horse when shuffled further back. It's just not as engaged, maybe doesn't have the greatest turn of foot, needs to be up there on the lead. But this is a race that should set up well if Runaway Tracy wants to get back to that kind of more front-running style. Nobody else is going to be really trying to outrun her. So I like Runaway Tracy to add some value as a horse, maybe underneath or to, do an exacta with Kingston's Gold and Runaway Tracy. I think those two could very well just kind of get out to that early lead, not really feel pressured at all, and just wire the field.
So we disagree on who that pace setter is going to be, but we do agree that you have to have those tactics to win this race because it's setting up to be such a slow pace. And I think that kind of brings in the discussion of like, what are the jockey intentions and who is going to go out there and ride aggressively to establish a clear lead. And I don't know who that's going to be.
Well, I mean, I guess we think it's the 5.
We do.
But I definitely understand the case for the 4. And I would say we decide the 4 is going to be the 3rd choice.
Look like favorite in doubles.
Favorite.
So
yeah,
man,
less enthused. 5's drifting a little bit. Yeah, I think. I'm definitely going to play 8 with 4-5 key box.
What do you like about the 8 other than Lane Leslie? Did we already talk about this?
No, we didn't. Lane caught my eye a little bit, but the biggest thing is one of the pace things I look at is when the pace ratings improve last out, but the final figure is not better. And that stolen from someone who came up with the concept, but basically the idea and tested that, it works out where they improve next out more often than not. They showed some signs of life with early, and then the next time is when, then they kind of put it all together to use a cliche and then improve at the end of the race as well. And by the end of the race, I don't mean as a closer, I mean their final figure jumps up as well.
Yeah, I don't think Lane's getting on just anybody, so.
No, I would say not. I definitely, from a more likely to win standpoint, the 5, but at 30-1, the 8.
Longest shot on the board.
Will definitely be lamenting not being alive if that horse wins, because it was an A for me.
Yeah.
And we'll be in the pick 4.
There you go.
Which starts here.
It does.
12% takeout.
Space City.
You have a ticket.
Pick 4. I do.
Is it the Space City pick 4 too?
It could be.
Should
Isn't
it be?
it all Space City?
Should all be the Space City? What about the Astro pick 4?
I don't get to name these things, so.
So true.
Just like we don't get Eclipse Award ballots.
Well, I do.
Did you vote?
Of course.
You did vote, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this it?
That's it.
All right, let's take a look.
See, those are the sound effects we need.
So you're singled here, which I love.
Yep. To the 5, who is now 6-1, so I like that even more.
You're good.
Yep. In the next race, I have the 2, the 7, and the 8. This is going to be one of your other turf sprints, 5 furlongs. So I thought that this is actually one of the hottest paced races according to the pace report of the evening. It actually is
turf sprint.
It is the hottest of the evening for Sam Houston.
Caliente.
Yeah. Tis Magic, I thought, could be the speed of the speed. Also gets an inside post. We've seen inside speed do well, just like we did in the last turf sprint where the 1 finished 4th at 50-1. Also like the 7 and the 8 in there. The 7, Lady Gwen, is going route to sprint, and the 8, Quick, also speedy horse as well. Had a dirt attempt last time out. Clearly seems to prefer the turf. And then I wrote the hottest pace of the evening, which we discussed. I have another single in race number 8. That's going to be the 5, Delirium, also going route to sprint. First off the claim for these connections, which fire at 17%, is off a layoff since August, so that's always kind of a question. But the horse has been working well and does have the highest buyer speed figures in the field. And I look a lot at that buyer par on mobile. Which is like one of those features where it tells you what the predicted par is going to be. This is the only horse in there that surpasses it multiple times. And almost always when I see that of a horse surpassing the expected buyer speed figure for the race repeatedly, that usually leads to a win. So in the last, I have a little bit more coverage since this is a maiden special weight. Still
and you're against the favorite.
I am. This is going to be a route on the turf at a mile. The 10 horse reunification, hot connections, Rye Barry, Austin Gustafson, the first time turf, 17% with maiden second timers, 19% first time on the turf. This is only this horse's second start. This horse was a $75,000 Keeneland September yearling sale purchase. Off since kind of like a nothing effort in December at 7 furlongs on the dirt, but has every right to improve. And then the other 2 horses that I like are the 3, Austin City Girl, and the 7, Eileen Gray. And these are horses that tried the turf, then were on the dirt, and are now getting back to the turf. So I'm thinking maybe they prefer this. Could be a nice opportunity to get a price in the last one.
I like it. I'm writing these down. I did not have the 10 anywhere. 3 and 7 I did have below. So
I think a lot of people are interested in the 10 from what I've seen in the Twitter sphere. So
really?
Yeah.
10 buzz?
Some buzz on the 10.
Buzz on the 10. All right. Bring that back up. No changes. Race 6. No changes to my picks either. 6-1 on the 5. What's that one's name? Snack Attack?
Smack Attack.
Smack Attack.
Snack Attack would be even better though.
There's probably a Snack Attack out there. Not Andrew, who just gave us that 6-1 winner of the 5th, who I know CJ also used in his multi-race bets. So glad the chat is doing well, even if I am not. But yeah, I got it. He mentioned Q1 squares. He's referring to optics, another pace tool that's out there. And I've used it a little differently since I've left Brisnet. You know, I used to have carte blanche and get everything because that's how they got their data. But I did avail myself to it tonight because I thought, okay, we know there's this dirt sprint thing, and the whole point of the plot is it helps you see who the front runners are, et cetera. So to me, that was like a natural, all right, I'm going to check it out because I want to see who projects to be on the front end and use pace ratings for that, et cetera. But Q1 square is basically a circle is not a lot of late pace. A square is a horse who finishes, just to really dumb it down. And Q1 is early. So if you are a finisher and show early speed, that would seem to bode well for the way this track's been playing.
I agree. And it seems like 5-1 for the 3 seems very, very cold for a horse that was the 9-5 morning line favorite and is going out for those connections. Would you consider putting this horse in based on those odds or no?
Which one?
The 3.
5-1, yes. I think it'll drop though a little bit.
Yeah,
So I'm not getting my hopes up. But yes, I would, at that price, I would use, especially with the 8, who's 50-1, would do 3, 4, 5.
What do you have up for the chat here?
Tom McNamara wants to know if not Andrew is a mean person.
No, I mean, I don't know, honestly, but it seems like no.
I met him at Arlington, called him the right name in person, thankfully.
Props. Yeah, that's good.
And more importantly, and I shouldn't say more importantly, but he also bought a bottle of the bourbon I picked.
It seems like you have a
Pick
little
with
side
Nancy.
business going on.
Hustle.
Hustle.
No.
Okay. I'm going to have to start my own hustle here in Kentucky.
Well, there's needs for everything here in the Commonwealth. No, Tom, Josh is great. So.
Even better when you say the name correctly instead of calling him the wrong one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which
I
she
did get
probably
the chance
appreciates.
to talk to Andrew, though.
You were on his podcast.
I was. That's where I talked to him.
You got the Wall Street Journal treatment.
Sure. I was on another
The
podcast.
gray, the headshot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was an interesting style. I did another podcast for the In the Money Media earlier this week.
Oh.
That went pretty well. You have been on there several
I've been on
times.
there. Yeah, the
Red
Board Room.
Rewind.
Rewind. that's it.
Rewind.
Rewind.
You don't even remember anybody's name, do you?
Well, Red Board Room is the Thoroughgraph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer, nice guy.
You did the Stakes at Aqueduct.
The toboggan. We talked about the Kitten's Joy at Gulfstream, and then we also talked about the San Pasquale with Express Train.
Who impressed you?
He did. I mean, he's an impressive horse.
I mean, he's not as good as Flightline.
He's not as fast early as Flightline. I'll say that.
Yeah. What would Flightline be in this race?
1 to 9.
I wonder how many shakes there'd be on him.
Hundreds.
Slips dropped in.
I wonder what the record is for shakes in a claiming race.
I don't know. Mark, if you're listening, tell us the record at Louisiana Downs.
Silence. Crickets.
Chirp, chirp. I bet it's more than 100.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the most I've heard of at a time was 20 something.
Yeah.
But
I know there were like.
I mean, when you talk about a record in all time.
I think there was like 20 something today for a horse at Gulfstream Park. Let me pull it
Really?
up. Yeah, I think I saw a tweet about that. Let me verify my sources.
You imagine losing a 26-way shake?
I wouldn't be surprised to lose a 26-way shake. I'd be surprised to win. Wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 28-way shake for You're Killing Me in the 8th at Gulfstream Park, who won pretty easily.
Is that a reference to Sandlot?
I don't think so. But I don't know. Could be.
You never know with these names.
You never know with you what you're referencing.
Oh. Sandlot.
Yeah.
It's a movie. Pick 4. All right, we saw your ticket.
Yeah, what's yours? Is it $4.50?
It is. Well, I'm gonna have to mix it up because I don't want all 3 favorites to win.
Mm-hmm.
Even unless if the 8 wins here, that's fine.
So
I won't do that to myself.
Let me predict a ticket based on your option. So
All right.
You would put the 3 in at this price, but not at this price.
Right.
Right.
I think I'm not gonna use the 3.
Yeah. So you would probably do 4, 5, 8.
Yep.
Okay. And then in the next race, who do you like in the next one?
8.
8 only.
I mean, it's a lone A.
Okay.
But.
All right. Well, that horse is probably gonna be favored.
You're right.
Yeah. So you would just use the 8, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay. And then in the next one, do you have a price that you like in there?
4 and 6.
4 and 6. Okay. Would you use the 5 at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you would do 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
Would you add anyone else?
So yes, I would. Here's how I do 4, 5, 8 in here. That's it.
Yes.
8 then with 8, then with 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. But in the tickets that don't use the 8, I'll use the 5. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do, but I think you're using too many horses in this race that you don't need to use.
In which one?
In race 8.
But if I beat the 5.
Yeah, but you could with the 4 or the 6.
Yeah, but what if the 3 wins?
3's not gonna win.
Oh.
And then in the last, you should throw that 10 in somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a buzz horse. So you could take the 3
There's
out of
steam.
race 8 and put in the 10.
All right. There you go.
And then when the 3 wins, you can hate me forever.
I actually played the pick fours before we sat down because
Yeah, you gotta be prepared.
the pick five I did not, and then I was like, oh, I got to play this, and that cost me. So,
Yeah, when you just really are like, you gotta press that button.
but
Don't
Twin
spin
Spires
that
is happy
dial.
with my handle.
Of course they are.
Oh, we have a pick. It's been a while. Well, I guess it hasn't. We've only Andrew
Like
gave
a
out the
minute.
winner of the last race.
3-5-1.
El Novato. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Caliente is the only Spanish I know. So.
I know a little bit, but not. I feel like this is kind of like a name type situation.
Well, what's El? The?
Him. Like you would say like
El
it
Capitan
is the, but it's like masculine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the 9? Is it nine?
No. 9 is something different.
Isn't it like Novete or something?
No.
Oh.
You're just making up languages. We did say that we were going to start speaking in hieroglyphics, and I taught you how to draw on your phone. So.
That's true. That was a boomer fail when I didn't know.
Yeah.
Josh for an encore.
4-5 to the 8 daily double. I like it. I believe in that.
No, that's Dunkin' Donuts. He's saying if it comes 4-5 over 8, he's going to buy us donuts.
I mean, the Venmo is open, as we said, so.
Do you use Cash App?
Do I? I could.
Never used it.
I've used it like once or twice.
What about Facebook Pay?
No.
Apple Pay?
Like for myself, sure. But not to send or receive.
No, okay.
Yeah. Like I have like my own Apple Pay stuff, but I don't use it to transfer anything. Zelle is easy if everybody has Bank of America.
Or Chase or
any of those things that are on there. Mm-hmm.
Capital One. Captain One. Oh, late scratch. It's a bomb. Does not affect me.
Yeah, it doesn't change my life either.
Misty's Fool. I feel like Misty is one of those word names you associate with cigarettes because there's also a cigarette named Misty.
It's what I associate with Pokemon because of the Pokemon trainer, Misty.
Oh, I'm not
familiar. The leader of the Cerulean Gym.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a big deal. I also know a real person named Misty who has red hair just like her. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I also knew a dog named Misty growing up. Who was a golden retriever.
How about that?
It's 3 of them. That's it.
That actually might be a majority of the Misties.
And this horse, who's a fool, apparently.
I do not know what those are, but maybe you do.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Misty of Chincoteague is like a book series.
Like Anne of Green Gables?
That's a book too, yeah.
A book series?
Yeah. No, the Chincoteague ponies are like a wild horse group.
Are they do they talk?
No, they're real. Like you can actually go like visit them in real life.
But you mentioned a book. I mean, is it
so the book is based on these horses that are actually real.
No, but do they take on human characteristics? Oh, okay. So it's not like Garfield.
They're not anthropomorphic.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah. I know how to spell it better than I know how to say it.
I'm not sure I could spell it on the
Jazz standard. You hate jazz, don't you? I'm going to try to spell it. Let's see.
Misty the Jazz Standard. I don't get it.
I don't either, but we know you hate jazz.
Well, it's just, I mean, I always liked when it came up on Cosby, but then he got canceled, so.
Yes, he did, which kind of sucks because I also grew up on that show. But
hilarious.
I've actually seen him live before we knew. I saw him do stand-up when I was like a young kid.
Really? Was he funny?
I mean, yeah. But now we don't. Now we're not allowed to say that. Oh, the race is on.
Oh, better take this off.
In this paceless race, you have 3 horses vying for the early lead. So
they are 2 of the 3 we thought would be.
Yeah, the 3, 4, and the 5. But that 5 is then stuck in chase mode where I feel like
I'd rather be on the outside than in the middle.
Yeah, I don't love the horse that ends up being between other horses, but I also don't love the horse that I felt really needed the lead to be successful and is now parked 3 wide. Your 8 is trying to find a little seam there.
Yeah.
To run through, see if you can get brave and make that happen. Oh, had to check a little bit. I'm gonna try again.
I mean, if you bet the 1, you can't be happy.
No, absolutely not. But I didn't like that.
Although they
horse.
do have horse, but man, that's a
Yeah,
tough spot to
it's
win.
a tough ask. Your 8 has a shot to sneak right on through. There you go. You gotta be happy with that one. May not win, but that's the trip you would have wanted.
Yeah.
The 1's coming. I think the 3's gonna get it done though.
That's just the track profile.
Yeah.
Dang.
Your 8 horse ran a good race at
Something to 1.
38 to 1.
Wow.
Played exacta.
Two very solid runner-up finishes.
And 9 to 2 off
Is that
the
what you
9
ended
to
up?
5 morning line.
Then yes, I played an exacta. At
You're
9 to
not allowed to lie, okay?
No, I didn't.
I know.
Dang.
Do you think that this is correct spelling? Anthropomorphic?
I think you're missing an A.
Where? Oh, you think it's pa?
Yeah.
No? I
No,
spelled
you
it
spelled it
correct.
right. Good job. I told you I wouldn't
Spelling
get it.
bee. Can't pick horses that win races, but I spell words.
Well, I'm proud of.
I'm proud of your 8 horse
The 8.
too. Yeah, you should be proud of that 8 horse. That 5 did not get the lead and then totally gave up, just like I said happened last time. So there's that.
Yeah, completely threw in the towel.
Yeah. Well, nice pick by you, even though that horse didn't win. So you're still alive, and you're pick 4.
Some,
right?
yes.
What do you need to happen going forward?
I need I need 2 of the 3 chalks to win, and then not one in the other.
Give me a number.
So I need either the 8 in the next or
Okay.
1, 2, 4, 7.
Okay.
And if it's 1, 2, 4, 7, then I'm just 5, 4.
And then it would just be 5, 2.
But if the 8 wins, then I have
Then you
a
have
bunch in the
options.
neck. Yeah.
Okay, and then you have your spread in here, right? If the 8 wins the next.
Right.
And then you added the 10.
I didn't. I told you I already made all my pick 4 bets, and I didn't bet.
Okay, I just didn't listen.
Yeah.
Happens. Well, that was a great price on the 3 horse if you like that horse.
9 to 2 was
Which
not
Matthew
too bad.
did. Yeah.
Not too
I hope
bad.
Matthew's still alive to hit another pick 4 with that one.
Maybe he's live
Maybe
in
he's
the
live
pick
at
6.
I don't know.
I forget what he said about race 5, but he singled
What
in
did he
race
say?
4. So
He likes the 6, just like we did. What did he say about this one?
yeah,
Oh, he liked the 8 and the 6 and the 7 in race 5. So he was wrong just like I was.
so he's probably
Yeah, but he could be alive
unless he
in pick
got lucky
4.
with the big spread. Yeah, I agree. And it's Asmussen, so that's when it's like, okay,
Yeah.
why is this horse not taking any money?
Well,
I definitely did not understand why. Was that also Asmussen?
No, that was Rye. And
Oh, okay.
Who else? Stewart. That horse made a little bit of sense to me, but not enough for me to include, and yeah, it didn't run.
I bet that horse, I think all 3 times it started as a maiden here in Kentucky. I thought the name was the trainer trying to throw
Really
people off the scent.
Yeah, the horse was just really slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
But
Well, great price on that one. Good exactas.
great
Pick
exacta.
3, paid $300.
Lane Luzzy, runner up at a big price.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, that he's not just riding whoever. So great job picking that horse because I didn't really give this one a look, but made some sense.
Yeah, I mean
and
that.
ran.
Okay, so the pick 3 started with the 9 to 5
Yep.
that we all said you should single.
The 4 was what, 6 to 1?
6 to 1.
And
Took some money
then
late.
were you
May have
morning
played
line
more like
favorite?
10 to 1, but yeah, and then a morning line favorite. And then,
$300 for a buck. $349 for a buck. Can't beat that takeout. 12%.
man, those are the
Crazy.
ones you want that I didn't have.
Yeah, me either. But somebody did.
No,
Many somebodies.
unless the pool was $400. It's just one, but unlikely.
Right.
Very unlikely. All right.
Well,
Well, there is
next.
one more chance at a pick three. I am singled with a horse you do not like, or you
The
just.
8?
I know you singled the 5 and the 8th. I forget who you used
I have
here.
the 8 included. I
Oh,
liked
okay.
the 2, the 7, and the 8 in here.
All right. Well, we'll see what the board opens up at shortly.
Yeah. See what Matthew's thoughts are if you wanted on this race.
I do. We haven't talked about the 3-year-olds yet, though. So
We
while
could
we're
talk
waiting,
about them.
the El Camino Real Derby. Have you ever driven in an El Camino?
Nope.
Me neither. Pretty sweet, though.
If you say so.
I have a graphic of a thoroughbred driving an El Camino.
Is it McKinnon?
No, it's an old one, but I bust it out this time of year.
Oh. Well, then where is it
I need to do it.
next time?
Boise.
Who
It's
do
a
you
fun
like
name.
in here?
I have not handicapped this race.
No?
I will say though that immediately 11 horse race and I see a clear favorite, I'm thinking gotta beat him.
Really? All right. Well, this is a race where, thankfully for both of us, I did actually discuss this on the Ron Fly Racing Pod, which I recorded earlier, and that was before the morning line came out. But I figured that McKinnon was going to be the favorite. This horse is going to be trying his 3rd surface. Overall, he's run on the turf. He did run in that stinging memory for many of us of the Breeders' Cup juvenile turf. I'm sure you do recall the events of that race. That was one race where I actually really did not recover from because I was alive to some pretty decent events regarding modern games. And anyway, he ran pretty well in there. I mean, this horse then in the Sham Stakes is facing the likes of Newgrange and Rockefeller. And something we have discussed on the Horse Racing Nation website at nauseam this week is, Bob Baffert runners in these short fields at Santa Anita, where speed is doing so well, and also favorites are winning on the dirt at an alarming rate of 73% last week. That heightened amount of favorites winning is kind of playing out all through the meet. And so, in here, he's not meeting a Newgrange, he's not meeting, to me, a Rockefeller, any of those types. And I think that this horse is kind of like the class of this field. If he adapts to the synthetic, I think that he's dangerous in here, and I just don't think there's much in here. The Baffert horse that is in here, you got to think if they're coming here, it's kind of the B team or the C team rather than the horses that he's sending to different, Derby preps, even though they're not eligible for points, like Messier, like Newgrange, who did come back to win that stakes at Oaklawn. And then I think for a little bit of a home edge long shot, I was looking at the 7, Dr. Piscato. This is a horse that has run at Golden Gate several times. He does have progressively improving fire speed figures, so he can handle the synthetic. You know that he's comfortable with this racetrack. He did stretch out to a mile race last time out and improved his figure by 11 points. So if he continues to improve at 15-1, I think he's interesting as well.
All right. Based on memory of just, okay, who do I know here that might fit? That was the name that stuck out to me. So
which one?
Piscato.
Oh.
But I'm tempering that with, that's just one of those okay, what is it about this horse? Haven't dug in yet, but an 11 horse field shipping up to Golden Gate, immediately, I'm triggering okay, can we beat the favorite? So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to coming up with an answer on my own, but appreciate your insight. My favorite horse did win this race though, so always a soft spot.
Who's that?
Real Quiet.
Oh.
Which, given connections,
Man.
Maybe a little sour on it,
but the horse.
Yeah,
it's
good
not
memories.
The horse's fault.
My first Derby as a legal gambler.
Wow.
So
it's gonna be my first Derby as a legal gambler too, and the only.
No, I mean I was 18.
I know. I'm saying that this will be the first Derby that I go to. Oh, you mean you didn't go?
I didn't go. I was just
okay.
I went to the track, but not Churchill. Yeah,
gotcha.
No. I was just finally old enough to
gamble.
Not that they ever ID'd, but it was just something about that first real cigarette. Here's the Sam F. Davis, another nice field. They've been also eligible. To me, pretty tough. I mean, Classic Causeway is an 8-5 like McKinnon, but another situation. I mean, this horse just has so much buzz. He was in the winner's circle for the Breeders' Futurity before they even ran the race. I didn't get it. I still don't get it on him. I'm trying to beat him.
Yeah, this is one where I'm totally against the favorite, even though he is 3-1 instead of 8-5, 9-5, whatever that may be. This horse won on debut at 13-1, been favored 2 times since, not delivered, and I don't love that. Clearly has some talent. He's faced tougher horses, but I think there's a lot of interesting new faces in here, and the horse that I'm really most interested in is going to be the number 10 Volcanic, especially at that 12-1 morning line.
12-1.
This is a horse that I really liked at Saratoga last year when he was going out for the second time. He had some trouble at the start that time, ended up closing to finish third, and I was like, this horse wants more distance. Then they throw him in the grade 1 hopeful right after that, so that's a big ask. And the horse doesn't really run that well, but I'm thinking Connections think pretty highly of him to ask him to do that third time out right after not breaking his maiden, finishing third in the maiden special weight. Then they give him a bit of a freshening. He comes back at Gulfstream Park not that long ago, stretching out, wins from the 10 hole at 4-1 over a very game Charge It, going up for Todd Pletcher, who has this big pedigree. He's Triple Crown nominated. That's a horse that I think is the world of so far, to be that game, to be on the inside of a horse that has experience and is closing after setting a pretty strong pace. They both got a really good buyer speed figure out of that. I think he's dangerous in here. In a field that's laden with speed, he's going to be the one closing from off the pace.
All right. That's the Sam Davis, El Camino Real. 10 points to the winners in both of those. Next week, we'll start the 50 points to the winner series with the Risen Star. I think a few other 10, 20-point races still to come, but the 50-point races start as well. Ron Flatter's going to be there.
Wow. Lucky. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's not too bad of a trip. New Orleans. Scott Shapiro will also be there, so a former colleague and a current colleague. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll be cracking wise up in the Gentili press box.
Oh, I bet. Sounds like quite a group.
Oh, man. It's like the Beatles.
Wow. I wonder if they've ever been compared to the Beatles. Might be a first.
I would say that's probably a first. Yep. I would say you're right. All right. Well, pick 3. Last one of the night, race 7. Mm-hmm. Horse I like is 3-2. Nick is on the 4, currently 3-1. That was my lone B. I was pretty thin in this one, at least on the grid. But
I think I like this horse.
I would use the 2 or 7 at those prices. Maybe not the 1. It's a third choice, but yeah. I think there will be some value to be had here. I agree with you on the 2 and 7 as potential alternatives. Mm-hmm. I have the 8 on top, though. Did you actually have a top pick per se, or just these are the 3?
I think I had the 2 on top in here, just as a horse that I didn't feel as though was going to be favored. The 8 made a lot of sense, but I think I wanted more of like inside post position and early speed, whereas the 8's going to be breaking from the far outside in here. You do have that entry, though. I didn't look up exactly where they were breaking from, because I know it's different when you have a coupled 1-1A. So I don't know if one of them's on the inside and then one of them's further out, or if they're both kind of in the mix. But adds a different aspect to things as well. For
sure. Turf sprint, so not quite as heavy on needing to be on the lead. As we saw in the last, though, the horse who fought for it went on with it, and the other 2 didn't.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Pace makes the race.
That's right. So race 8 will be our final dirt sprint of the night. You and I are both on the same horse in there. Get to that, but we have some thoughts from Matt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh. This is race 7? Mm-hmm. All right.
Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. We're back on the turf at another 5-furlong sprint, and who do you like?
So here I like 2 horses in particular. Quick, I think, is the appropriate favorite. This is a horse. It's kind of hard not to like this horse for a variety of reasons. Breaking from the far outside post, so I think the post position really helps. She has lost to Chikara, who's another one of the horses in this entry before. But Chikara is also a horse that had a much better 2020 than 2021. And so I'm a little out on Chikara at the price from a morning line standpoint. So I do think Quick is probably the best bet here. She also has the best speed figures in the field. And it's important to point out, if you look at her track record at Sam Houston, it may not seem that impressive. I think only, one victory or one time hitting the board, which was a victory in 4 races. 3 of those were at a mile, though. Once she cuts back to the sprint, it's a lot better for her. So I think, I know sometimes people like to look horse for a course sort of a thing, but I think Quick is a really solid choice. The other one I'll mention is Lady Gwyn. You're getting a little bit more of an odds there, 9-2. And this is a horse that I like for the value. This is a horse that just hits the board and is a really safe horse to include in vertical wagers. So 7 for 9 hitting the board on turf at this distance, and has some versatility, can come from off the pace, can also be more of a front runner. So I like that versatility in a larger field with a lot of horses that have a lot of quality. So those were the 2 that I zeroed in on in race 7.
Ed has left me to run the ship here while he takes a quick break. I'm just going to talk about a couple of the angles that I think are interesting with some of the horses that I'm interested in this field. With the number 2, this horse was on the dirt last time out. When they're, turf horses that you can tell they're turf horses just because they run such better figures and have, better performances on the turf versus when they're trying the dirt, you can just kind of toss that last out dirt effort. This horse has run consistently well turf sprinting, does get more of an inside post, like I talked about how I'm interested in. And I think it's an advantage in these 5 furlong turf sprints at Sam Houston. And as Ed and I were talking about earlier, this horse is tactical, so can either sit close, come from off the pace, is probably going to sit much closer today to protect that inside position. I like this horse a lot in here. A couple of others are going dirt to turf. That's going to be your number 1A, Factual, has the same type of angle. The 5, dirt to turf as well, Shackle Lacka. Then you have a lot of horses cutting back in distance in here as well. That's going to be the 4, Magical Soul, who I feel like is a horse that I was interested in a couple starts back that I know Ed has some interest in. The 6 horse is cutting back in distance, the 7 horse as well. So lots of changes happening for all of these horses in here, but not so as much for Quick, who is 7-5 right now.
Welcome back. Tell me everything Matt said.
He likes the 7, the 8. That's it.
All you need, other than the 2 in your case,
yeah.
And the 4 is at 7-2. So I had my 8 was my A, 4 was my B. But when this happens, 7-2 second choice, I don't even worry about the B, because you're on a 6-5. Yeah. What are you going to double the cost of your ticket for at 7-2? But 2 and 7, I had more minor notes down, and at 7 and 8-1, that definitely makes a little more sense to me. And definitely am going to try to beat the Broberg entry. A little chilly. We know Carl's been known to take money, but there's also been a couple instances this meet where when he didn't take money, he ran very well. So
yeah, something I saw. I think the 3 tossed the rider, because that horse is with the pony right now, riderless. So not a horse I was interested in using, but something to note. This horse is 10-1 off a 20-1 morning line, so it did take some money. Did you look at that horse at all, or not really?
I looked and said no thanks.
Yeah, I did too. And the horse is saying no thanks.
I always look at everything on the menu.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah. And I don't like getting the menu before I'm seated. I feel like part of the experience is digesting the menu when you're ready to order.
I disagree. If I'm going out to eat, I've already looked at the menu before I even get to the restaurant, and I know what I want to get for the most part. Mm-hmm. That way I don't have to sit there and deliberate for forever trying to make a decision.
Well, you gotta be efficient. I mean, you can't people waiting. Forever. Yeah.
And you know what I hated, because I've served for so long, and something I just don't know. We just need 5 more minutes. 5 minutes. We've been talking about it. You're here to
eat
some
plenty
food.
Of time.
You're here to eat. Figure out what you want. You want to sit and talk after you eat for a little bit. It's okay.
Now, what about when they ask you what to get?
It's fine, but when you ask me what you want and you just have no idea, then I throw the question back and I'm like, well, what do you usually like?
Right.
Or I had like a go-to top 3 at the last place that I worked, which were actually my favorite dishes. So then I would kind of run through those 3 and knew them by heart. And someone one time was like, oh, You really you rehearsed that script well. I'm like, yeah, I say it like 10 times a night. I should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're not rehearsing it, you
I just
perform
know
it.
it. Yeah, absolutely. Do I say the same type of thing each time? Yeah, but it's also true.
Right.
So.
Now, do you get offended if someone asks you what the chef likes instead of you?
No one's ever asked me that, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, weird. They should.
I know.
Yeah, you like the orzo.
I did like the orzo. Orzo was good. Did the chef like making the orzo?
I mean, probably, but I'm sure he preferred some other things. Yeah.
Soup, though. I'm a soup guy.
We know.
I'm a soup guy. I'm an 8 guy here, 3-2. Probably is. I thought 2-1 would be fine, so 3-2 isn't offensive, but I'm not like excited. Like, oh, I got to make sure I bet this one. I'm still smarting that I missed. I mean, should have had the exacta in the last race, but whatever. But
I mean, you even
not betting the 4th race horse to win at 9-5. That's egregious.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's a string halt?
What do you mean? It's kind of like if I describe this correctly, from my understanding, it's a way of going that looks kind of like they have like a marionette string attached to their hocks, which is like not the knee, but where that would be on a horse on their back legs. So I'm gonna point out to you. You see, like kind of like how this horse, it looks like someone's like pulling them up by a string each time they like walk, and it's very like high action in the back legs versus that horse where it's just kind of like more. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's talking about. It affects some horses. It doesn't affect others, but it's very noticeable
purpose?
On that one. It's not a purpose thing. It's a way of going. So it's just kind of like something they do naturally.
Oh,
it's not like
it's not a piece of equipment.
No, not at all.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just like that's how that horse moves. It's really pronounced with that one. Like that might be the most obvious example of it I've ever seen. So thank you, Candace, for pointing it out that we can discuss it and you can actually see it.
And is it bad or good, or would it depend on if they do it?
It depends. It's something that they're going to do each and every time because it's just them. But some horses, like it doesn't affect how they move and their performance. However, other horses, and especially if your horse is 7-5, it's a less efficient way of going. So like if you have a horse that's kind of like leaning in versus running straight, or that, has like a tendency to like life is good used to get out in the stretch, it's not going forward, so it's less efficient, and it doesn't matter sometimes, but it could in an evenly matched field be the difference between a win or not.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank it, Candace, for bringing it up.
Wise. Charles Blaha, congrats. Thiago Canuto, which I wanted to put this on here. Found it a little more difficult than I thought to juggle between signals. So we really haven't talked about Turfway much, but glad they're back. That's exciting. But Thiago was, I think he was like 0 for his first 100 as an apprentice. And I kind of thought circumstantial. He was definitely just, decent rides. But yes, I mean, a lot of times he was on no hovers, but he was in the mix, like out running his odds, to use a phrase that you enjoy, and just wasn't quite getting there. And then he finally broke through and started winning some races and getting on better horses, blah,
That's
blah,
awesome.
blah. But
2-4 tonight.
Very glad that some horsemen have stuck with him in this area, and he won plenty of races at Belterra. But thank you, Charles, for mentioning that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's definitely one of those, like, okay, if I have a reason to like this horse, like, wouldn't necessarily just bet him blind because of him, but 20, 30, 40 to 1, not a deterrent at all. But people might not so much anymore because he's won enough, but at the time would see 1-2% jock and be like, But I would play him with confidence. Brock does not get the 8 at a short price. Better races from inside post, which obviously posts I think matter. To me, it's horse agnostic though. Like it doesn't.
She's the best horse in the race, I think. So
I very rarely think to myself like, oh, this horse just needs to be inside or outside. I do think on
heavily track bias days it matters.
It matters, of course, but that's the circumstance, not the horse. And I think certain horses, you probably speak more to this than me, but maybe they don't like being between horses or they don't like to be on the rail. But even if you're on the rail from the gate, a good jockey will get the position.
Yeah, and
So
as someone who's watched so much Naira, to the point where it's kind of a ridiculous obsession, something Jonathan Kinchen would always say is that if he likes two horses that are going to be close to the pace, he always wants the outside speed more than the inside speed, and that's something I would agree with.
yes, which I like being on the outside. And the last race, unfortunately, was the outside of 3, so didn't get to save any ground. Never really made the lead, but definitely don't like that position where you feel like you're bottled up or between horses.
Yeah, and another way, now that I'm looking at it even more to describe the string halt on the 8 horse and the hind legs, it's kind of like if you put booties on your dog and like bring them out in the snow, and they do that like funny like walk where they like really lift the legs in an exaggerated way to like be like, I don't know how to walk in this. That's kind of the movement, and if you had to ask your dog to run a race in those versus normal, you would see them go that much slower. So I think that perfectly illustrates the example of a less efficient way of going, but I don't think it's going to have a major impact on this horse. This horse has run well, even with this issue.
And it is now 6-5. Frank Angst loves outside posts and turf sprints, and they're off, so we'll take it off. Hopefully your 80, I am not, wouldn't do that to Nick. Hopefully your ADW of choice has you covered though. And what do we got here? We don't have the 6, I'll tell you that.
No.
Eight's in the right trip though.
Yeah, 2's sitting in a perfect pocket if can get some room, but five's going to back up.
I was going to say that the jockey seems very concerned about having someone back into him. But
yeah. Well, that 5 looked like he was going backwards quickly, so
he got out of the way.
Yep. Yeah, angled out, gonna make a run. Your single's doing okay. It's got to get to this pace setter, though. There we go. You think she's going to hold on?
Nope. Do you?
I do.
No, you were right.
Well, I'm getting close. It's going to be desperate.
Oh, maybe I wasn't right. No. Oh, wow.
Close. I think you got the bob.
I don't know.
I'll have to see a slow-mo, though.
That was your pick.
That was your pick.
Not the 2.
You had the 8.
But you had the 2.
Yeah, I'm saying I think you got the bob.
So
the 8.
I don't know.
You also got the.
You may have got the weave.
I will never have the weave.
Fair enough.
Heads or tails? Who do you think has got it?
Maybe it's a heater. Opia says the 2 won it.
There's a lot of dead heats at Sam Houston, especially on the turf. There was that 3-way dead heat.
No, they ended up calling it just a double. I was hoping for the triple dead heat, though.
Well, in my mind. Coots was thrilled, I hope.
That was the dead heat for all dead heats for Coots.
He's got to take an impact.
Mike Allen can't believe that.
Can't believe
I don't know if he can't believe you're talking that the 2 didn't win or won, but yeah, that's all 2.
Yeah.
That is all 2.
Yep. So you had this horse somewhere, though.
I did. So now I need.
Now you need 5.
I need the 5 or the 4. One of them has to win.
Yes. Okay. And then in the last, who do you need?
No, I need either the 5 to win the next or the 4 to win the last.
Okay, so you need the 5 and then the 4.
Or.
What do you mean or?
It can still. I need either my spread in the next and the 4.
Okay.
Or the 5 and then the 4 gets beat.
Oh.
They both can't win.
Okay.
Because I'm expecting them to be favored. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Now I understand what you mean. Well, I picked a winner.
You did?
I did.
At
Tis magic.
Decent price, right?
7-2. Yeah.
It's better than even money.
Yeah. Magical Soul ran okay. We were right to fade that Carl Broberg entry, though.
We were at 7-2. So took some money. Yeah, Magic. Now that was. I didn't see the odds and wasn't too worried about it just because the 8 was even money anyway. But Magical Soul ended up drifting to 6-1. That was a much better price, obviously, at 7-2. So yeah, we could have put our heads together for a little something there.
It's almost like we work together. We could talk about these races ahead of time and come up with some group.
Well, you had Matt. We should do that.
Yeah.
Especially,
we should do that for next week. Is like come up with one like.
Well, and on Twin Spires, we can share the ticket and people can buy in with us.
Wow, what a great idea!
Bet share, not my idea, but I was there.
Well,
when it came out.
Idea for next week, possibly.
Yes, Wednesday.
Wednesday next week.
Yeah, they started Wednesday this week because of the cancellation.
Right.
But Wednesday that's like the real first Wednesday.
Okay, so we're recording Wednesday next week.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, because
it's almost like we could communicate.
The first day of the race week is the idea to get people pumped up.
So Wednesday. See, this is why I have all these notes. Wednesday, next live stream. Who should we have as a special guest
Karen
next week?
Jacks. CJ.
CJ? Okay.
He'd be fun.
CJ Johnson?
Yep. I think he pronounces it Janssen.
Janssen? Janssen and Janssen?
No, because this is with an E at the end.
Yeah.
He'd be all right.
Okay. Well, there we go. You should ask him right now.
I think he dipped.
Oh, well, then he missed his opportunity.
All right.
We'll come up with somebody good.
Oh, yeah.
We always do.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it for the pick threes.
Yeah, we have 2 races left. Are we covering both of them?
The late double. It's just this last one.
Oh, okay.
Or it's not the last one.
Right, but this is the last one we're talking about? Okay. See, these are all these new things that I learned while we're live.
This is the Swan.
The Swan song. Well, the only horse that I looked at in here was Delirium, so I hope he wins. And he's your single that you need to win. And then the 4
I would rather
win.
the 5 win and take my chances against the 4.
Okay.
Especially since you're against the 4. So.
In the next, yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you have as an option if the 5 wins this one in the last? Just so I know.
1, 3, 7, 8, 9.
So 1, 3, 7. The 8 scratched in the last.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So 1, 3, 7, 9.
It's almost like you could have added the 10.
I know.
All right, the 7 makes sense to me. Yeah. 7 makes sense to me. I hope you don't get beat by this 10 then, that this horse finishes.
No.
But
I'd make a win bet if it's a big price.
it won't be a big price.
Oh.
Guarantee it.
Then that's life. That is life.
Life is good.
I am not as familiar with the pace in this upcoming 8th, even though it is a dirt sprint.
I think it's another one that's kind of like.
Although in the other races, I haven't been right about who's going to be on the lead. So.
No, we haven't been in those races where we think it's going to be no pace. It's 3 of them, or it's not the one we expected, or something like that. So that's horse racing. That's why they don't run the races on paper, as they would say.
No, if they did though.
Paper can't run.
No. So wow, 5-1.
On the.
What are the will pays?
Let's find out. For your $2 pick 3, 3-2 to the 5, $1,104.20. That's $2, not $1,
Right.
but still.
But is it favored or no?
The 5?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
5.
Wow.
Yeah, no. The favorite in the pick 3.
So yeah, I'd much rather have the 5 here then.
Is the 3 ultra special, and the favorite in doubles is actually going to be the 1 Genomic. That's interesting. That's the lowest paying double.
Very.
Yeah. The double to the 5 though is $72.60, which is 3rd choice.
All right.
So
we might have something here then.
yeah.
I wonder why they're not betting the best buyer in the field.
Off the layoff since August.
Yeah.
I think. That's my opinion.
Those horses have been running fine.
Well, off a layoff is different for each group of connections, and some connections have success with it and others really don't. So if you see connections that are like 0 for 18 or 0 for like 50 or like 0 for whatever off of however many days of a layoff, you're going to be like, oh, well, no thanks, I'll wait.
And what are these?
Oh, I didn't write that down, but I can find out really quick. This horse
the
is
Durf machine.
Yeah, this horse is off a claim. Connections are 17% with that. Yeah, highest buyers on the field, like we said. Let me pull this up.
Lots to like for me. I'm pretty excited about this price.
Like I said,
I think we can go out with a bang.
Or a boom. Let's see. 0 for 4 off 180 days. I think that's why I didn't write it down because it was such a small sample size. But
Josh touting the deuce on the front end.
the 2. Danny Pish is having a good meet.
That'd be a sad.
A sad, the 2. Yeah, I don't have this horse anymore.
That'd be strong sad.
Well, I'm gonna leave you for a second and go use the restroom and have you take the reins. But you could listen to Matt because I already heard him talk if you wanted to.
Did he do this race?
He did, but it's in the Google Drive, not in Restream. So you're gonna have to go hunting for it.
I know where that is.
You do.
Matt. All right, let's see what Matt has to say in a bit. I'm gonna go hunting for it. Oh, there he is.
Getting claimers, $7,500 tag, 4 and 5-year-olds sprinting on dirt at 6. Back?
We're back. Yeah, when I go to the drive, it kicks the sound off. But yeah, we're back. Now we're really back.
Now we're really back.
No one
for real.
knew when you were. Well, they saw you were back, but they didn't hear about us talking you were back. So.
Well, now they know everything. All right, so we need the 5 in here.
Yes, big time.
Okay. 3 to 1.
Potential to make my night.
Could be. This 4 horse is taking quite a bit of money.
Yes.
I wonder if that's Matt.
It is early. I don't know what the win pool is, but this would be the time that you could still affect the prices.
Definitely. What's going on?
Nah, Candace just alerting us to the sound situation.
Oh.
Thankfully, we've been talking for a while, I think.
So, let's see.
Yes.
Who are you impersonating?
Nah, just a voice.
It's like my creepy dreams that I was telling you about with the weird voice.
The voices?
Yeah. Voice is a dream, not real life.
Wow, the 2, $3,300 pick 3. Wow, the 9's 90. Wow.
Wow.
Sam Houston, man.
A place to be. I'm going to have to go sometime. You just went. Everybody's there.
To Sam Houston?
Yeah, sometime. Not this season, but next year.
Yeah, Houston's a big city.
Yeah.
Got stuff going on.
Guess so. I know everyone's like, how are you liking Louisville? And I'm like, I haven't done anything yet. It's cold. I did go to the sale though.
Yeah.
That was
That's
cool.
Lexington.
Yeah.
How was the food?
The food, I got a burger. It's pretty good.
From the grill?
From the bar that's there.
But were they grilling it?
I didn't see the process, but it was pretty quick, so it might have been grilled in advance.
Yeah. GIA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Better than MIA.
their food's been decent in the times I've been. It's been a while.
To the
But,
sales.
well, Phasing.
Yeah.
Keeneland's, it's the Keeneland food, so
Yeah.
used to that. They do a good buffet for the September sale, though.
Nice. I'm gonna have to go to that one too.
Yeah, that's
I get it.
Keeneland.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for Keeneland to open in the spring. I'll probably be there every weekend.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I had my most success wagering last year in the spring when it was Keeneland and Belmont spring meet. I was making $500-600 on average every week for about 7 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Yeah. That ended in Saratoga, but
Yeah.
it was a really nice run.
It's a nice cushion, though.
Mm-hmm.
Was doing what?
Win bets, mostly. Yeah. No, it was nice.
Playing who looks good.
Yeah. That's like perfect 2-year-old first time starter time, which is where I do really
That's
well.
true.
So yeah, no, it was actually talking about this with Mark earlier, how he's kind of saying that like it's the lamb of the blind when you're dealing with all those first time starters and they're so young and they're just doing all this stuff. It's all brand new. Nobody really knows how to play those races necessarily on the data that's available, and so that gives me a huge edge in those races. So yeah, no, it was a good run. I took some summer classes and I didn't have to take out loans for them, so worked out.
And your car.
I have a car, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a car before that, but
Oh. Didn't pay for your car.
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Didn't change anything on the car situation.
No
but
car change. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest score paid off my car, so.
Nice. Well, I mean, if I had hit that pick 4, life would have been. I would have breathed a sigh of relief about a lot of things.
Yeah.
For the next
It'll
couple
come.
of years to come. Oh, absolutely. One day.
Not today, though. I don't think, based on what
I
we've
think
discussed.
today's out for when the magic day is going to be, which is fine.
But this horse, 3-1. I'm a buyer. I think we're gonna get it. So
those are some fancy blinkers that he's got going on with the red and yellow. I like
he
him.
looks tall.
He does look tall. He's very lanky. Got very long legs. The guy with the 6 is shaking his head. The 6 is like, okay, let's go.
Wonder what the temperature is there.
I don't know. The 7 looks very sleepy.
Well, it is getting late.
It is. I mean,
although they're an hour
horses
behind.
are like, yeah, it's bedtime.
Eclipse Awards in 17 minutes.
Oh, do you think we'll be off the air by then?
Well, I think we're contractually obligated
to be off before the Eclipse Awards.
That's
why they
pushed it back.
For us.
Yeah. Sunset, they won't bake in there.
Yeah. Now, earlier when you were saying what the real reason was why they pushed the event, are you able to divulge that, or are we continuing to say that it was just for us?
Well, just for us sounds better.
It does.
From my understanding, because of the glass roof with the sun, and it's especially warm out there for this time of year, that they were, baking.
Cooking.
Yeah, they were cooking. The sun was, like you're in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to leave your dog in the car.
And they do have it air conditioned, even though it's a portable. But the air conditioner apparently was so loud that when they were, testing stuff, rehearsal, whatever, it's like, well, we can't do a show with the air on. So they pushed it back.
That's nice of them not to cook everybody
alive.
alive.
So the sun will be down. They won't need the air, hopefully, but they were able to use the air all day, so it stayed cool. And then once the sun's down, they'll be fine. So.
Good. I'm glad that nobody's baking out there. Plenty of
when it's black tie, so.
Well, obviously, and there's plenty of on-air talent out there that we are familiar with and respect, and we don't want anything happening to them while they're discussing the.
No, you don't want to be thinking about how hot you are,
or,
beads and.
Yeah, beads of sweat.
Definitely want it to be comfortable, so glad they fixed it. Steve doesn't want us to go.
Steve? Mr. Steve?
No, not Mr. Steve.
No one's making you watch the Eclipse Awards, Steve. It's okay. You can put on whatever you want. You can watch a show that has
we
nothing
can
to
just
do
watch
with
this
racing.
back.
You could watch race 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just load up race 4 again.
Repeat.
It's our best opinion so far.
Yeah, I mean,
when this 5 wins, though.
I love replaying my best opinions. It makes me feel good about myself.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest hits collection.
Yeah, I think my best Breeders' Cup was honestly when I was too young to bet.
That's too bad.
Legally.
My best Breeders' Cup opinion wise was 02, which I definitely say if I bet then like I do now, I think I could have won 6 figures.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
I was 22.
This is a lie. My best Breeders' Cup opinion was actually hitting the trifecta in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, whatever year it was that Shamrock Rose won, who was the
17.
Who was the first horse to win from the 14 post, actually. And I remember I was looking at this race, and I was looking, this horse is a 3-year-old facing older, but I was like, this horse is being completely overlooked both in the odds and then warming up. And I was like, this horse looks great. Like, I put in a huge win bet on her. And to me in 2017, huge was like $50. And then I also boxed the try with her, Shalom, who was the 6, in Anonymity. And that was a pretty close finish, but I faded Marley's Freedom because I was like, this horse is backward and just taking money based on connection.
Right.
I didn't think had as big of a shot in there. So that was probably my biggest Breeders' Cup hit.
So Unique Bella wasn't the favorite?
No, I think it was Marley's Freedom.
Then it probably was 2016 then, or 2018?
No, I think it was 18.
Where was it?
I think it was. Let me just look it up before I embarrass myself.
So Long Shot won in 2017 at Del Mar. Anyone remembers?
It was at Churchill Downs in 2018.
Okay.
That was a great race.
Well, it's the Breeders' Cup.
Well, not all Breeders' Cup races are great.
Especially the Filly and Mare Sprint.
Yeah.
But that one was.
You know, I'm going to watch that race again because I like feeling good about myself later on.
That's a good opinion.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Bafford's just going to be over bet. So.
Of course. Well, I remember I yelled to my roommate, I was like, I just won like whatever amount of money. She's like, how? I'm like, look at this. You pulled up the pace report. You want to talk about the pace?
Yeah. So this was the one where I was like, okay, who's actually going to be on the lead, which is a huge advantage, as we've discussed at Sam Houston. Need to remember to size that better next week. Sorry about that. But
cut off our head.
Yeah. Final narrative 12-1. Who I do think actually Josh mentioned that he thought that the two had the best chance of being on the lead. The pace report agrees. And at 13-1, I'm disappointed I do not have even in the spread portion of my pick 4. But B, looking at some of the others, I give a chance to the 6. I guess just the 6 at these prices. But I mean, I could make a case for playing the 2 with the 5 and the 6.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree, but pace is very important.
You disagree that final narrative will be on the front end?
I disagree that this horse is one that I would be interested in betting. But, you have to consider if that is the case that this horse
who's the jockey?
Be setting the pace. Steinberg.
Pish, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, $7,500 claimers, pace will matter quite a bit, I think, at a lower level.
Will or won't?
Will.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. One that horses don't like to pass.
Right. Exactly.
So there you see the TTT again, which hoping we have available on Horse Racing Nation.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Which will allow you to do your own work. Not that we don't mind doing it for you, but just, hey, Gulfstream, I'm going to play. Pop that up, gives you a great snapshot right away of how the track's playing. Makes me very emotional.
What does?
It's just such a great tool. But yeah, so looking forward to rolling that out a little bit more. But in the meantime, you all could like and subscribe to our channel. That would be great.
Absolutely. And I think right before this race goes off, we could also show Matthew's opinions on race number 9 if we wanted to, just because I do have that video available as well with 4 minutes to post. Just a thought.
I'm in.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me just pop over there for a sec. Race
number 9.
Allie, we have
so weird hearing your voice from somewhere else.
Yes.
special 3-year-old fillies at a mile on the turf. So the turf route of the night and and for one reason or another, they have not been able to get back to turf since then. And this is their first time back. So Girls Got Game ran a really nice debut at Belmont, a mile and a 16 on turf, posted a 52 buyer speed figure, just like Luck is Fickle, and then promptly went to dirt, didn't show anything, tried to get back on turf, but it got taken off dirt and didn't run very well. Now it's finally back on turf again, so I'm interested to see what happens here. I think there's some potential there. Eileen Gray kind of the same way. This is a horse that did not even record 2 buyer speed figures in her 2 dirt efforts, but posted a 46 and the only time out on turf and finished second. So if you're going to try to beat the favorite, I would kind of look to Girls Got Game and Eileen Gray. I'm leaning a little bit towards Eileen Gray. You're just getting a little bit more value there. But I do like horses like that in general from a handicapping standpoint that have shown something on the surface, but for some reason haven't been able to get back to it. Now finally you're getting back to it. So I think those are important. The last one I'll mention is just very quickly reunification. This is a horse that I don't know if reunification is a turf horse, but if you just look at trainer stats, there's a lot to like there because Gustafson has a lot of success going from dirt to turf and also stretching horses out. And that's exactly what he's doing for reunification. So if you're just basing it off of what the trainer's capable of doing and where he's had success, you're getting a nice price with reunification from a morning line standpoint.
So many thoughts.
Lots of good thoughts, I'd say. Yeah, that was, seems like regardless, oops, trying to bring the feedback on. There we go. Seems like regardless, fading Steve, probably the move if he takes a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't really work out for us in that race with, what was his name?
Yeah, but he didn't take, I mean, that was, he ended up not taking money.
Right. I see what you're saying. But
So
the fading Steve angle did not work there, although.
I am not fading Steve in the last. Well, that's not
Well,
true. I guess if the 5 wins, yeah.
Yeah.
But that I actually thought the 5 would be favored here, so I'm gonna feel kind of foolish if that doesn't work out. But I will look at the double will pays. I mean, maybe a 5-4. Just the price is right, since I wouldn't have that in the pick 4. But
right. Yeah, no, Matthew's great. He has some great thoughts.
He does.
He's kind of the reason, one of the many reasons why I'm sitting here, kind of my first like on camera exposure, talking some races
That's
with
right.
somebody. So glad to be able to return the favor in some small way and lots of insight to the table. So
and not new on the scene.
No. New, like I said the other day, new publicly, you could say, not new to horse racing.
Right.
Right. And I think that's kind of like the thing that people keep thinking, and it's fair, but what beginner can talk about races like he could, right off the bat? What beginner can talk, like you've never watched a horse race before, you're just tuning in now for the first time. You should not be expected to talk about the races in the way that we do,
No,
the
I
way
agree.
that he did. So to say like, oh, you're new to race, it's like that's disrespectful for beginners if they're trying to get into this game. When I first got into racing, I didn't know how to talk about any of these things, and I'm sure many people could say the same. So when you're trying to bring new people into something, it's not always a good idea to treat them like they're not so bright.
Agreed. No, I mean, I hate to say, I've been impressed. Like I wasn't expecting that, but it's just nice to see someone put the effort in and it paid off with good information.
Are you talking about Matthew?
Both of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, because I mean, a lot of times we're like, oh, I can do that, and then
Well,
do this, and then it's just, and that's fine. Like not everyone can write or speak, or we all have
everybody has
certain
their
skill
strengths.
sets, but it's. And even Steve says Matt's a nice guy.
Yeah.
You may have seen me on my phone. I was playing the 5 to win. I think that's a very fair price.
I think so too. I hope this works out for us.
Yes. So I am in the pool to win, singled in the pick 4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Laid off the double, just I can take the next race as it comes. But yeah, at that price, had to take a shot, and
I didn't really get it on this one horse, so.
No, me neither. And the 3, I know you didn't love.
Nope.
7's a little light too. I mean, I think the 4 or 6 are the other alternatives, although someone's acting up back there.
Yeah, that was a 6. Quite the agile move to rear up that high and then kind of like spin on one leg to be facing the other direction. That's very
Would you refer to that as energy dispersion?
No, I would refer to that as acting up. Dispersing energy, yes, but
Yes.
not through the race. Now they're going to try to load riderless.
I am waiting on Turfway.
What you got going on there?
Nothing. I missed race 4, but
Ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, there was an objection, and the horse who won would have triggered a pick 5 carryover.
Okay.
But if they put the horse up, there would not be one.
Well,
is my
I have to
understanding.
wait and see what happened there and give us an update before we go off air later on with that one. Speaking of Turfway Park, there's a horse that's running tomorrow night that I'm really interested in. His name is 02035 for Jim Politano, who I had the pleasure of meeting early on in January. It's one of his few horses.
02035.
Yeah. Trying synthetic for the first time. He was one of the only Union rags to run well on the turf.
That is, I'm amazed at the number of Union rags that keep popping up on the turf because
but he ran really well.
The numbers are not great. It looks like this is going to stand.
Okay. Triggering that carryover?
Big carryover.
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
We'll have to take a look at that tomorrow.
We will. Mm-hmm. Pace reports, shipper
Power
report,
picks.
Post.
Hot jockeys.
Man.
All these picks at picks.horseracing.com that you can check out for your Turfway pick 5 carryover.
Yeah, and Sam Houston's running tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, we have all those picks for all sorts of different tracks available. So
right. Yeah, the picks for everywhere. Free for Sam Houston. But yeah, I'm trying to see if I can figure out what the carryover would be. I'm going to guess it looks like it's going to be about 68,000.
That's pretty generous. So the 2 is most definitely not setting the pace in here. 2 is last.
That's correct. Yeah, not what Josh wanted, I'm sure. Flathead is on the 1.
Oh, but now rushing up. Probably going to get into some traffic trouble there. Let's see. Oh, angling out. Good. Okay.
How about the 5 just sneaking up there?
Mm-hmm. That's what we want to see.
I like it.
Fairly okay fractions for 6 furlongs. Seems to be doing it well. Now's the opportunity to kind of sneak away from everybody else.
Yeah, I'll take a 5-6.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take just the 5. Mr. LBJ is going to try to sneak through on the rail.
Who was that, the 4?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen the rail move work before. I would have liked to seen a little separation by now.
Yeah, now's the time. Let's go. This horse needs to switch leads and really kick on. Or just
I like that my 6 played a little blocker there.
Yeah, yep. I think this is going to happen. This horse needs to just kick a little bit more. Got it.
You sure?
Yeah. Unlike the last one. There we go.
Well, I have to say, we gave that one out.
We did. Delirium. When I was going through these races earlier on in the day, and I did my handicapping for this card very late, almost embarrassingly so, this was the only horse that I had circled in the entirety of the races that we were going to be talking about, and we won.
We won. So we came in a winner and come out a winner.
That's how you want to do it.
So if you come in like a wrecking ball, how do you go out?
Gonna have to think of that one for next week.
Next week.
To be continued.
And in Opia, circle it, baby.
Worked out here.
What was the price?
Final price, you're looking at 7-2. So
that's all right.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Not the 9-5 favorite like the 1 was. So
no, I didn't
like that horse. I mean, the horse ran, but I didn't like that horse at all. So.
All right.
We did it.
Yay.
So who do you need in the last to hit?
1379.
1379. Okay. I have it written down right here. I'm going to be cheering for you on my drive home.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Could be something.
Yeah.
Pay for my
Pay for
thank
pizza
you,
next
Steve.
week.
No, that's 25,000. I don't think we're getting there. But could pay 10? For my Turfway. Yeah, I think 10's probably a better number for pizza.
For pizza?
5-figure pizza.
Yeah. Fair enough.
What if we all hit and we opened a joint called 5-figure pizza?
Right next door. That's the only place we go for lunch.
Luigi's? I've only been there once. Have you been?
Yeah, one time. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, wasn't good.
I mean, you
But
saw.
I didn't get pizza. I got a calzone.
Oh, okay. Well, I posted my pizza from yesterday
Yes.
on
Which
Twitter.
I said that I was going to eat when I didn't realize that it was just for you.
Yeah, and to me, Zaz is the best in Louisville.
It was National Pizza Day.
I was a little dramatic. I don't think it's a landslide. Other people brought up plenty of good tasting pie. Anyway, all that to say, someone said, "Oh, Luigi's downtown," which is fine. I've been there once. I'd go again. A little expensive, but it's downtown. But we have some coworkers who are very aggressive in their disdain for Luigi. So it was very funny to me that someone would point that out specifically as good pizza when,
Opinions, everybody has them.
That's right. Charles has 3, 4, 7, 10. So he's with your 10, 3 or 7. Yeah, Charles and I could enjoy a
pizza.
A pizza, yeah. Oh, I'm getting Woody in the picture.
Nice.
You seen that kid on Twitter?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's on there. He's not a kid, but.
All right, so Will
in the
Pays,
Woody garb.
Race 9, not out yet. Well, prices aren't out yet, but
Right.
I'm sure I'll be looking forward to something.
Well, this is our longest one yet, 2.5 hours.
Wow, we've tolerated each other for that long. Can you believe it?
No.
And we didn't even have any candy tonight because we had
That's
pizza
true.
beforehand.
We need to get the candy back.
I know, but we did eat right before.
So we'll be back Wednesday next week.
News
First
to me.
end to Candace. She got the wet noodle out for that one. But it is the first day of the race week. Want to pump them up. They'll be away from Turfway, away from the Eclipse Awards. And we don't want to take away from Acacia's monologue. So we'll pass the torch. I'm sure there were many funny jokes written and to be said. So looking forward to hearing about that. Any parting words?
No, I think you got a lot to look forward to this evening. If you want to, keep the entertainment going, you have those Eclipse Awards. You have race 9 from Sam Houston. You can see if Ed hits this pick 4. And looking forward to next week, our first Wednesday live stream.
Going to be fun. All right. Well, that's Sara. I'm Ed. We're Horse Racing Nation. Join us next week.